Hello and welcome back to Limbus Company. I'm Luce, and, well, it's been a while here. I wanted to finish up Tales of Symphonia, but now that that's done, it's time to continue Canto 8, the, at time of streaming, most recent Canto in the game, although by the time this goes on YouTube, it'll probably be past when Canto 9 comes out. So, well, I can't go late today. Yeah, I know I say that all the time. We are going to have to figure out a way how to go about this, because... Wait, no, I know how I'm gonna go about this. I'm just gonna dive right in. Surrendered witnessing. But yeah, last time, the Intervallos, we went to the checkup and ran some weird things. Luckily, the one running the checkup was a lot nicer than we expected, and he didn't get Don Quixote seal designated. That's a thing from the Fate universe. Basically, it's... the Mage Association holds as the highest honor, but what it really means is the person gets isolated and turned into an SCP research project, so, not pleasant, to say the least. So it's good that Don wasn't given that designation. And Nocturnal Sweeping is when we finally start to enter and prepare for Hong Lu's Canto, but it seems the person booking our hotel was incompetent, and someone trying to kill us got it, and attempted to get us killed with the sweepers. Thankfully, the sinners have come a long way, so even with Ricardo there, or possibly even Ricardo's help, we were able to fend off the sweepers and survive the night. It's a shame we probably will only ever get one fight together with him. It was actually kind of neat working together. But now, we're homeward bound. Yeah, and I know I always say I can't go late, and then I go late, but we'll see how it goes here. Oh, a fight already. Oh yes, and as you can see, I have redone my team a little. I mean, I still rotate between Heathcliff a bit since he's primarily just a backline support, but as you can see, I now have a Merceau ID built, and a Canto 4, and an Uptie 4 at that. Yeah, I know Rose Spanner Merceau is not the greatest, but the thing is, he lowers enemy clash power based on Tremor, and since I've decided to throw my lot in with the Tremor teams, it felt like he would be a good budget support to go with here. Plus, he was very cheap, and that is definitely a benefit of 2 stars like these 3 here, and multi-crack, Heathcliff, of course.
가시죠. 파투페 입회 의뢰인가요?
특수 어디서?
시간 바로 가지.
제가 필요하시군요.
제 차례인가요?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to bring him here.
부르신다면 마침내
H4와 89의 안내는
독재팀의 마침
H4와 8...
And I get not everyone's at level 55, but I felt getting Merceau to a usable level would be fine. Like, to my understanding, 45 is the bare minimum for being able to participate in endgame content. 50 to 55, you basically gain a clash power, which is not game-breaking, but it does help, but it's also not something you can't compensate for, so that's good to know. But 45, that's a couple of clash powers, so it can be relevant, but... oh, whatever. Point is, I've now officially dedicated Tremor.
꽃이죠.
Flowers wilt,
우수수
petals
하늘
fall,
가득 흩날릴
a
때
drizzle of sky blossoms, sky blotting. Wait, what's that Tremor movie called again? I should have made a reference to that movie. Yeah, it's a Ron Underwood movie. It's honestly pretty good. It's a horror comedy about creatures underground. Nobody likes most of the sequels, though it did have a prequel that I thought was pretty good. You know what? I'm going for the effort here. There was a TV series that I never saw much of, so I can't tend to give a comment on that, but... yeah, the original Tremor's good. 2 and 3 I wasn't too big on. Tremors 4 I actually do think was actually quite enjoyable. Well, where it takes place and basically tells you the origins of the Tremors. But I haven't seen any after that. It looks like there's actually a couple more. Interesting. Well, I'll worry about that later. Because all my Tremor team's causing the Ron Underwood movie, it's time to continue
빛깔 잃고 향기
Hong
멎은데
Lu's Colors
그 누가
fade, fragrance
슬퍼하나.
dies, but who shall mourn their
꽃
passing?
밝히 손에 들고
The garden I go, and a hand of
때론
flower
떨어진
rake,
꽃잎 밟을까.
only to pace, less
서성거려.
crushed in the scattered blossoms I make.
그러니까
And yeah, I
결국은
forced myself to bring
콘텐츠사.
Honglu because it's his chapter. Luckily for me, Ting Tang Gang, Honglu is still really good, so I don't mind having him even if he kind of breaks theme a little. Thus, in this troubled world I
눈을
breathe.
감지 않는
Shut my
기선을
eyes as my soul
보가.
reprieve.
얼마나
Intervallo.
고단하고 여의치
You
않은
must have walked and
여정이었느냐.
toiled tirelessly on your journey home. Jimu.
험난하진 않았어요.
I wouldn't say I suffered much,
하루하루가
grandmother.
매일 신기하고
My days were always
새로운
filled with new and
나날이었으니까요.
interesting things to see.
대체
Boy, what they're
뭐라고
talking
이야기를
about over
나누고
there.
식탁이 너무
We're sitting so far
넓어서
apart I can
말소리도
hardly
잘
hear
들리지
them. I mean, is this
않고.
even a dining table?
애초에
I can't even
이걸
see who's sitting at the other end from
식탁이라고
here.
어딘가 불편하신
Is there anything
점이라도
bothering you,
있으신가요?
dear guests?
혹여
This humble servant
소인이
can help you with
볼
any.
일은
Right, we're gonna help position, get her, make her the head of the family since Honglu had no interest. But then Limbus Company forced us our hand, saying, "I'm afraid Honglu has no choice but to compete." I'm guessing that's to make it book accurate or something, because I have not read the book Honglu's namesake is from. Sorry about that. There's a few I knew of, some that I actually read, but Honglu is one of the sinners I genuinely had no information of beforehand. So this is going to be a very interesting adventure for me. Oh, it's not some bother me, alright? We're in the middle of a meal. Can you please stop? Nope, not at all. Nothing's bothering us. Everything's good.
그럼
Now,
보가
Lady Wong.
친구분들을
Now, Bio Level,
소개시켜주겠니?
will you please introduce me to your new friends?
나 참-
Oh boy, I never know how to act in front of others'
부모님을
parents.
만났을 때
I mean, where should I
어떻게
look? Is this an appropriate size for a place? Smile? I hope it don't come off too
시선
smarmy.
아,
Ah, it's
그럴
nothing to fuss
필요까지는
over.
없어요.
Think of this as your own place and enjoy your
집이다,
time here. Woohoo, thank ya. But this place is so huge that I can hardly relax. I'm worried I might get lost going for a cup of water.
아,
Ah,
그건
don't you
걱정
worry.
마세요.
We have stray
안
people
그래도
shelters
미아고
located all
소속이
around the house for
안
that.
곳곳에 있거든요.
Our servants visit them once a month to collect
시종분들이
anyone who's
달에 한번
unfortunately getting
방문해서
lost.
길
If
잃은
they're
분들을
still
구조해
alive, that is.
주십니다.
Hong Lu, that has to be the funniest
씨,
joke you've ever
지금까지
told.
들은 것 중 제일
Yeah, even
웃긴
Sinclair knows he's not
농담이었어요.
bullshitting with that.
아,
I wasn't
웃기려고 한
joking,
말은
but I'm glad you
아니지만
enjoyed it anyway.
덕택에 재밌으셨다면
Yeah, I knew that was
다행이에요.
coming, and I think Sinclair did as well. Oh dear.
그런데 홍록은
I must ask Hong Lu, for I spy no other sibling of yours here. This is quite odd, for I thought this was a welcoming party of your return.
내 환영식이기도
Hey, it's my
하거든.
welcoming party too.
그리고
Besides, what makes you think we'd
얼굴만
want to
봐도
see their
인상
stupid
구겨지는
faces just to get
놈들과
mad?
같은 식탁에
It's been like
앉아본
10 whole
것만
years since
해도
we've ever shared a meal together.
거진 10년 전이야.
Yeah, with what little Hong Lu has mentioned of his family, the impression I got is that nobody likes anyone in it.
그리고
They can't stand each other basically. Oh, and don't think about trying to chat me up. Did you already forget what I said earlier? There's nothing between us anymore. We're enemies. Also, I'm kind of surprised Limbus is forcing Hong Lu to act, but then again, I suppose the contracts in this universe are basically more iron tight than religious edicts, I guess. Should we initiate the conversation though?
저는
Oh, I'm simply so glad that my son Bio has returned as a man that can now more than ever carry his own weight and unharmed too. Well, I mean, he's died quite a few times by this point, but I suppose what matters is that we've undone it. So, dear Bio, I don't mean to rush, but when are you planning to depart again?
아직 정해진 건
Nothing has
없어요.
been decided yet, Mother. See, I'm simply concerned that were you to stay here to be prolonged, perhaps you might fade before your duties are completed. Oh yeah, she thinks he's gonna die easily. Well, I guess to be fair, he might normally. It's just, we have the power to stop that. Do you not also agree, Venerable Jim?
그래.
Indeed.
우리의
Dear
둘도
Bio,
없는
a peerless
진리한
treasure,
꿈.
tarry not over long in this
이
mundane
속세에
world.
남아있지
Leave
말고
when the time is
때가
right
되면
and fulfill
다시
your
떠나
worth.
그 가치.
그럴게요.
Okay, grandmother.
할머니.
Mother. Throughout the entire familiar discussion, his expression remained the same, in that tranquil, perpetual smile. Despite his return after years of wandering, being met with the family's obvious push to make him leave as soon as possible, he stands unaffected, as though he were expecting this gaudy yet a hollow welcome. Yeah, I get the sense he was kind of expecting this from the word go, but yeah, look at this background here. I mean, I assume the grandmother is the current head of the household, and she's right 50 miles from basically everyone. And yet they have an easy time talking to one another. Ishmael really wasn't kidding. This attitude being so passive, I almost had no choice but to watch as a bystander a few hours ago.
이제 곧
The
가마가
Pelican will be
오겠군요.
here soon.
가마.
A Pelican?
우와,
Oh, so cool.
여기는
That sounds like a
무슨
fancy
가마를 타고
ride.
다니나
Isn't that
보네.
just super
그치?
great? Oh, yeah, Sod. Are we getting a Pelican, whatever it is, to give us a ride all the way to the mansion? The usual comedy pairs' desperate efforts to lighten the mood are particularly appreciated today, as tragically ineffective as it may seem to be. Hey, for some people, trying to make light of a situation is their way of coping. I can
네.
respect it. Yes, the LCP and Josh will be heading to the Dangyeon, the Grand View Garden. Well, that's thankfully a good... I appreciate that translation. Where one of the most prominent families of H Corp reside. If they sent old Pelican to pick us up, Honglu's family already know he'll be participating in the war.
아니요.
No, it is unlikely that they are aware. After all, it can be assumed from the most likely reason the company waited until the last minute to relay us this order was to minimize the chance of information leakage. Oh yeah, that is also true. They knew we were heading to H Corp for a while now, so they could have told us at any point, okay, so we're gonna need Honglu to participate in his little war here way beforehand, and yet they waited until we thought he wasn't even going to participate, and thus we thought it'd be safe to help Zishun.
그저
Therefore, it'd be correct to presume that Pelican here is merely a gesture of welcome for Honglu and Zishun's return.
그런 만큼
It means
가마를
that
타고 갈 수
only the
있는 건
invited ones and their
초대를
faction,
받은 여기 홍루 씨와
Honglu, Zishun,
가시춘
and their
씨,
factions can ride.
그리고 LCCB
Unfortunately, this means the LCCB, Virgilus, and Chiron won't be able to join you on this journey.
아쉽네요.
Oh, that's too
같이
bad.
갔으면
It would have been nice if we could all go there together. I genuinely wonder how much company, in the general sense, Honglu likes. It's possible he's not being dishonest and says he does genuinely like being with the sinners as a whole, but... Well, as we saw with many others throughout this adventure, you'd be surprised just how much you can hide behind a smile. I mean, look at Dawn's in last chapter. You can absolutely hide quite a bit behind a smile.
항상 이런
Just as
스케치에
petty as I expected from the seniors of our family. Would it kill them to house
여기 있는 사람들
a
다
handful
지워도
more
피도 안
people in that
나는
humongous
그런
park of a house? It's not like they notice the difference.
어머나.
Oh my, how touching.
좀
Looks like Mrs.
감동이걸요?
Yashun thinks she'll miss us too.
방금 전에
What a thing
시원하게
to say to my
내
face
뒤통수를
after shameless
후려쳐놓고
backstabbing.
애초에
I mean, do any of you even comprehend what it means to participate in a family
무슨 뜻인지
barrack
다 알고
war?
승낙한 거야?
No, and somehow I get the sense that was somewhat the point.
우리가
Do you understand why we call it a
가족한
war
명칭을
when the
두고
official name for it
왜
is an
대전이라고 말하고 다니는
evaluation?
거라 생각하는 거야?
Well, at least it's better than calling it the murder death kill. Yes, that was a Fate Stay Night Bridge reference. Sorry, I had to.
너희는 이제부터
It's not like it's a
언제든지
war in the
목숨을
sense of
내지는
between
곳으로 들어가는 거라고.
countries, but I suppose one could argue it's factions. Oh, now I'm overthinking it. You're risking your lives getting involved in this. Once you're in there, you'll be stalked at every turn by people trying to kill you, including me. Yeah, but technically speaking, since we fought together, we do know each other's abilities, including we are quite possibly immortal, so...
객잔의 일을 벌써
Remember how Wei
잊었어?
saved your life with a fake Kazan?
그때는
Now
웨이가
imagine the
네
same
목숨줄을
scenario, except this time it could be
지켜줬지만
Wei who's there to kill
이젠
you.
미리
I must say ahead of time, that's truly a regrettable turn of events. I did not wish to have to fight any of you, but Wei looked at us with an unfamiliar and cold, intense glare. Well, we feel very much the same way, so looks like we're on the same page there. That is true. It's actually been quite nice fighting together with people for a change, so it sucks that we have to turn against one another now.
반대로 말해서
That means I'm also fair game. You could stab me back in the
나를
back
찌를 수
again,
있다는
except literally this time.
뜻이야.
No, never. I wouldn't dream of. Gia ignored. Zishun ignored Sinclair's anxious plea and looked straight toward Honglu.
마음을 바꿀
This could be the last chance to change your
마지막
mind,
기회였어.
brother.
나는
I didn't invite you to join my
많은
faction with a
가벼운
light
마음으로
heart.
내 생각에 가지고
Besides, the
되잖니.
family war. This isn't something you can flippantly decide you want to participate in.
그렇게 살아왔듯이
I know the life you've lived, Zishun.
나 역시도 어렸을
I
때부터
also grew up hearing those countless tales of the family war, just as you did.
그러니
So the weight we're
우리가
feeling
느끼고
must be the
있는
same.
그래. 열이게
Right, so this is where our
이어져왔던
tenuous
형의
alliance really does end.
관계는 뭐 상관없어.
Not like I care, but
필요에 의한
Baka.
잠깐의
It did
동맹치고는
drag on a little too long for a
너무 오래
temporary
끊긴
alliance
거였지.
forged out of convenience. Yeah, but those are always the nice combines, where everyone just works together because there's really no point in betraying each other.
원래대로.
We're just going to go back to how things used to be, that's all.
그럼
And that's fine by me. I think that's enough chit-chat with you then. Okay, if
네가
that's what you
원한다면
want. Oh,
시춘
Jishin?
뭐
가문의
Please don't tell the
사람들에게는
family I'll be
내가
participating,
좀
will you?
당분간은
I was told to keep this a
비밀로
secret
두는
for
편이야.
now. Ah,
이제 와서 그런
tell me one
부탁을
reason I should do you
한다고.
that favor now. For someone supposedly doesn't care. She appeared rather hurt as she took a moment to glare, biting her lower lip. I see. She's not bothered by being asked to. He didn't assume that she wouldn't to begin with. Then strode up right past him.
이게
Is
정말
this even your
오빠의
call,
선택은
brother?
맞아? 아니면
Or are you just following their orders? She gestured towards the rest of us with the chin.
내가
My
가족들과
participation in the
참가하는
family
건
war is
이미
already
정해진
decided.
일이기
If you're
때문에
curious to know why,
시춘
then...
너는
Shun,
내
you believe my
선택이라는 것에
choices
중요한
carry
의미가
any
있다고
significant
생각하는구나.
meaning?
아,
Oh, I see. This
또
crap
그렇게
again.
가주대전이
So
어떤
you already
의미인지
know what
알면서
participating means, but you just have no
내가
idea
왜
why I'd
그런
ever
걸
ask you something like that, huh?
물어봤는지 대답은 됐어.
Fine, looks like I don't even need to hear
더
your
말
reply.
섞을
There's no
필요
point in even
없겠네.
trying with you anymore.
그런
At least I'll have fun
얄팍하고
watching how far you
헛된
get in that with that
어디까지
shallow,
설명할지
meaningless attitude of
모르겠겠지.
yours. Hey, wait. Zashun appeared pretty distressed after the exchange. I was about to say something when Pilot, who'd been fiddling with the radio, began shouting,
과장님,
"Whoa, manager!
가만,
A
내가
palanquin's heading
도착한다."
this way. I'd like to chill a bit today. Yesterday was too rough. Let's head on over so we can at least relax on the way there." Oh no, we're taking this one. You'd never think twice about giving up things to others anyway, do you, brother? What the heck do you mean? Let's do this fair and square with rock, paper, scissors. Wow, sure, why not decide the next high arc with a game of rock, paper, scissors too? How's that? Honestly, I would genuinely love to see how that'd even go, because there actually is a lot of strategy and thought to that kind of game. She gave us a wry grin before leaving. Wei followed her wordlessly. Boy, and I thought we were finally making some friends out here. Look, over there, a group waiting for the Palquin. Well, it must be the candidate the client told us about. Everyone, there's a group of hostile-looking people coming this way. Jiwa was unlikely to be the only one going after the other candidates. Executive manager, we best take care of them before the next Palquin arrive. Yeah, what can we do, right? Oh well, at least we can feed the bus some more people, I guess. Prepare for battle, everyone.
운이 따라준다면 좋겠네요.
Yeah, I do not picking Ting Tang Gang Hong Lu from the new manager ID selection ticket. He has been absolutely reliable this entire time. I don't really, unfortunately, since I'm not running Bleed Team or others who can, I don't really have the ability to power up his skills, but even just on his own, he has some very solid numbers, and that's always nice to have. He seems to be getting unlucky with the speed rolls, though. Oh well, I guess that'll just slowly build up his sanity meter. I could use as much sanity as possible, given he's going to, he is extremely, I want to say, like, well, actually, I guess every sinner is kind of role dependent, huh? If you roll low, that's gonna be bad no matter what. Okay, now I finally rolled something decent. Dominating. His upside 4 also actually granted him some coin power. And from what I can tell, base power and coin power are good reasons to upside 4 no matter what. Good to see Rose Spanner Merceau is doing some good work. I tried him out in Mirror Dungeon as well, and he's actually pretty solid. I heard some jokes that he wasn't very good, but I think that's mostly in comparison to 3-star ones, which, of course, if there's a better, for Drummer Merceau, I obviously don't have him, so he'll work for now. The only thing that's kind of annoying is that to even do Refraction Railway 5, I need 2 teams. Now, granted, if I make use of the base IDs as a backline, I could potentially make a second team by splitting my actually built ones a little. It's basically charter syncing if I had to wager. But it does mean I won't be able to participate nearly as easily. Meanwhile, I just have to beat Canto 8 here, and I'll be able to do the Bakgak Refraction Railway 1. Everything I've heard about is mostly just that it's extremely time-consuming. Not even that difficult, which does make sense. New IDs are naturally going to be stronger than old ones. Arkanites kind of has the same thing, where a lot of bosses that were previously difficult are significantly easier after. When they rerun after a year or two, simply because of the general power creep. Except for the Emperor's Blade. That guy gave me the feeling of, you're as bullshit as the day I lost you. Granted, it's probably a lot easier now since it's been years since his debut, but still. No more signs of enemy reinforcements, Executive Manager. Phew, at least there's an end to them this time. These guys that attacked us when we first got here were endless. Oh, well, that's because we walked right into a trap then. I mean, shallow, but still. Anyways, Zishun was pretty hurt by that, didn't she? Honestly, though, I get why she feels so betrayed. Remember all the stories about Honglu's family? Imagine you're one of those kids and thinking you finally found, like, a potential ally in your family, only for him to pretty much stab you in the back at the last minute. Yeah, right? It was really awkward for me, too, even though I wasn't even involved. Yeah, that was kind of a bullshit thing to do. Don't get me wrong, I get why Faust and the company thought it would be better to spring it on everyone to prevent the family from even thinking, because as of right now, other than Zishun, the others probably think, oh, Honglu probably doesn't even care about all this, because we don't have to worry about him, which can give us a leg up in potentially getting rid of someone particularly horrible. Granted, they're probably all going to be bad in their own way, but yeah, there's always going to be that particular, we can't have this person win no matter what. Saw chimed in nonchalantly as though it wasn't her who pulled the plug on our alliance at last second. Yeah, but don't shoot the messenger. There's no point in blaming her when she's just giving her orders. Or rather, she had no choice but to give orders given she was already in probation. She's already in trouble, and trying to pull any more strings for us would have just gotten her in more trouble, I guess is the best way to put it. Or was our escort? I can't imagine H-Corp can't afford to send his guards with the Pelican. If this family loved each other enough to send escorts, I doubt they'd be holding a cutthroat ceremony like the family hierarchy evaluations. It's a world where might makes right, the strong prey on the weak. Yes, the kind of society that's gonna collapse in on itself. I believe I've ranted about this whenever SMT games bring out, but the chaos factions might make right theory where only the strong exist. It's a pipe dream. I can fundamentally never agree with that philosophy. Yeah. Because there was always going to be someone at the bottom rung. Alright, we got rid of the weakest. But wait, what about the second weakest? They were... weakest. Clearly, they're not that much better. We should get rid of them too. Oh wait, the third weakest is probably sitting pretty, thinking just because they weren't on the absolute bottom, they're fine. We should get rid of them too. And you can kind of see where they're going with that. I'm sure you could argue there's a clear and obvious stopping point, but I don't believe anyone would actually recognize that point, or no one would agree on that point. People won't bat an eye if one of dozens of candidates is found dead in a ditch in the road. Sorry, Honglu, I must have been running my mouth without thinking about how that sounds. Someone usually stops me before I get that far. Oh, don't worry, you didn't say anything wrong. It took me a while to realize that other families actually weren't like this. There's no reason to be upset by the way things are. There's no reason to be upset. I wish I could be as easygoing as you, Honglu. Or perhaps as able to put a mask of being easygoing.
도박장죄로 의뢰를 냈다 싶더니 이렇게나 밑장 빼는 놈들이 한가득일 줄이야. 한 달은 의뢰 없이
The
놀아도
bell
되겠는데.
tolls.
사무소 놓았네.
Well, I guess it's nice we get into a fight in the Canto right away. That way it's not too much story nodes. What's this ominous metallic noise? The tolling of bells. Bells with resonance unlike any other, normally marked by their clarity. This bell is muddled as if it tolls for ill fortune on the horizon. Wow, that bell sure is a resounding reminder that I'm home again. It's a bell that tolls every once in a while. You can hear its resonance from anywhere in Hongyeon. It's restructuring day. Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh, but really construction day is already? Trails off, unable to finish her sentence as a brutal scene unfolds. Whoa, are you guys seeing this? The buildings are all starting to shift. This is though Ishmael said, the buildings tethered to a complicated network of rails were either rising or sinking to the earth. Movement has been observed from every building in the vicinity. Everything is changing. So we found ourselves in a roguelike dungeon. Dang, we already have Mirror Dungeon, and now this one's gonna crop up on us. Dang. Well, at least we've been trained for this very situation. Faust really is smart. Really smart. The localized shifting of structures we observed yesterday were not as sweeping as this.
밤중에 보셨던
What you
건
saw last night must have been a
제자들의
premonition of the
정기
restructuring
현상이었을
day, nudging some buildings and
공간의
positions
재분배를
for the
위해
smoother
알맞은
overall
위치로
redistribution
조금
of
이동했을
space.
뿐 제대로 된
Now this
시작은
is the real deal.
그게
Oh, that whole
정조
mess was just a
현상이었다고?
premonition?
지금의
It's a remnant.
홍원로도
It's a remnant of an old H Corp that was here long before the current Hongyan. The structure has been here a while, so we can't quite know the nature of the purpose of its singularity, but at this moment, they shifted based on the current H Corp's restructuring standards. The world's assembly shifts overnight, yet those who toiled and toiled have not to fear. Is it not joyous to have a place to rest your feet tonight? Those who weren't availed of fortune, this is simply the reality to bear. Only choice is to retreat in silence and accept your fate as one might. Await the coming month, ponder on how one might save their skin. How many shall plummet today, and how many shall remain? I'm not sure what kind of tune I'm supposed to be using for this. I'm gonna be real with you. Hold on, not to all things too tight, or you may lose sight of when to let go and feign ignorance when you must take flight.
재조립의
The
말로
consequence of reassembly for the evicted is an endless plummet.
보고만 있기엔
What a terribly distressing sight to behold, unable to do aught to help. Is this another one of H Corp's idiosyncrasies? I don't know. Don't the other nests also have one's measures of one's wealth? Like how T Corp makes use of time as a currency. Exactly, H Corp's measure of wealth and currency is how much space a person owns, measured by a scale they call rooms.
소유한 건물의 면적이
It is. The measure of one's space is the measure of one's worth.
네,
Exactly. So once every month, the worth of every person's labor and quantity of their income is measured to determine how much space they are assigned. So they can kick me out of house known for no reason. What kind of ridiculous rule is that? Well, it might appear that way to outsiders like us. The calculations behind these redistributions are meticulously designed and have been here for a very long time. It just seems to me that everyone just accepts them as part of their natural lives. Yeah, that's kind of thing. When you live with something for an extended period, you just accept that as normal, and it doesn't seem unusual. Have you seen this happen in person too, Honglu? The restructuring day?
보았죠.
I have. Sometimes I'd watch the cityscape from behind the railings of my room.
아주 멀긴
It happened
했지만
far, far away from me, but I could see it very well. His expression remains tranquil and still as he calmly reminisces. It was like then he was merely watching the featureless scenery passing by.
제가 살았던 대관원은
Dongyang, my own home, was never too concerned about restructuring days. We get
그곳은
more
방이
rooms
늘어날지언정
than some days, but we never ever shrink.
그래서 저는
So I've never been affected by these. I only ever witnessed them as they happened beneath me, high up in my room. You're fine. I doubt there was anything you could have done, but sit on your hands and just watch all this shite. Heathcliff trailed off, but I could see he was gritting his teeth. Yeah, Heathcliff's always been pretty frustrated with the upper class type, but the fact. Yeah, the fact he points out, he took the time to go, yeah, I doubt there's anything young Honglu possibly could have done about this problem. So while it does, this really does show Heathcliff's growth. I mean, I'm back in Canto 1. It did not escape me that he liked to particularly focus target on people, on the rich ones. Even poor Sinclair was one of the people he killed completely unprovoked. Really does show just how much he's come a long way, to the point. I don't think he was too much of a fan of Honglu either, but Honglu was able to avoid it, I guess. Either luck or because he can defend himself. I'd have to look again, but I do remember. I do remember the scene where he kills Sinclair and he fought with Ishmael before Ryoshu killed them both, and then Dawn just killed Ryoshu, and it was just a mess. They're a ragtag bunch of idiots, but they're my idiots. Damn it. Heathcliff trailed off, but I could see he was gritting his teeth. Another palanquin's coming! And there's your ride. I think we've chatted enough, so let's you guys get going. This is a palanquin? Yep, looks like they sent one large enough to comfortably seat a big crowd of people together. Young Master, a bio and his 12 honored guests, is that correct? 13 to be exact? Yeah, but I thought Slot wasn't invited. Whoa, hold your horses. I was told Young Master's faction was 12 people. Upon hearing that, began aggressively striding, causing the bearer to shrink in fear. Slow down, lady. We're 12 people. What's wrong? I mean, don't tell me this thing looks like a normal contributing member of a clan, do you? What? She suddenly grabbed my shoulders and presented me for the bear like I was some kind of product. I mean, that's a pretty unique head, but I don't think I've seen anything like it around here in Hongyeon, but isn't that just a prosthetic? I mean, it's the shape of a clock, but yeah, apparently head prosthetics are just normal in this world. I mean, that doesn't mean they're common, but it's something that happens. I mean, Sinclair's got them as a fashion statement, apparently. Let me ask you something. Could you imagine why anyone in their right mind would stick a clock where the head's gotta go, even if they're hurting for cash? No way, ma'am. There's no way more versatile biomodifications available there than Hongyeon than whatever that whack job is. Nobody in their right mind would. Exactly right. No idea what went down. This fellow here seems to have taken on hard times. Too bad live in a world where misfortune could befall an honest soul. Boy, oh boy, looks like this one got scammed then. A nasty one too. Whatever back streets they got that from must have been a real scoundrel. And look, the clock isn't even on time. This poor person's barely conscious. Look, all they can do is make weird ticking noises because they don't even have a mouth. Those are pretty darn hurtful things to say, but I decided not to take them at face value. It's pretty obvious what she's trying to do. Somebody tell Sod I'm getting dizzy. Hey, if you weren't kidding, who could have done something so awful? It's a real blessing. The young master's got such a kind-hearted soul. He could not walk past the timepiece selling this human being like they're a toy. They're a tool, so he picked them up to get their head replaced by something proper. We also got resources, something like that. Oh, well, you're not wrong there. It'd be easy to swap out your whole body as long as you got the cash to burn. Wait, a new head for me? Right, I mean, that's what they told young Master Bao. Oh, only has 12 in his faction, including yours truly. Well, I see your point, but we can't just let all of us go aboard, yes. All young masters fully understands the moral conundrum you find yourself in, so we'd like you to offer this tiny token of appreciation. She produced some bills from her pocket and slid them into his own. Oh, I see. Hey man, I really shouldn't do this, shouldn't. Oh, I don't need to tell you this, but if word of this got out, things might get messy for both of us. Let's make sure that doesn't happen. Indubitably, man. I'm doing this purely out of the goodness of my heart. What's a free ride for a downtrodden? Seems to me this bloke's doing it purely out of the interest of fatness of his own wallet. Alright, stop gossiping over there and let's get on board. Wait, are we leaving Pilot alone? He seemed to have noticed me staring his direction. He stopped fidgeting the radio and waved. Don't worry about me. Have a safe trip there. I've got some stuff to handle on the outside. This design is more akin to an extravagant limousine than a pelican. Oh look, a bottle of champagne. Can I chug this? Of course not. Drinking while on commission is... Okay. With a quick clap, she promptly put an end to the hubbub with an unexpectedly flashy appearance of the palanquin caused. Her demeanor shifted entirely that of a calm and collected strategist, a far cry from a person who was chatting up a storm with the bearer just a moment ago. Alrighty, time to get to work, everyone. Sting. Character reaches stagger. Disruption. Should be pretty easy with this team now. Having the backup is also going to be quite nice. If they allow this through here, that should make things a little more reasonable, but gotta prepare for anything, you know? Then you'll... Wait, something's going on outside. Not long after Otis's remark, a grating sparker ran out, followed by a worried voice of the bearer on the other end. Palanquin bearer, we're under attack! I thought things were going a little too easy. It's no surprise that the candidates are trying to eliminate us just in case. Why am I not surprised? Well, at least they're getting right to the point this time. I can appreciate that kind of level of promptness. This isn't a human fight, so I can just win rate this. I'm sure that there's nothing irresponsible about doing that, right? It's catchy as you can tell. Oh, what the? Runtime error. Program this application requests the runtime terminate in an unusual way. Please contact application support team for more information. That is a little weird. Hold on. Alrighty, this is gonna be a little bit of a pain. Let me just restart it then. Alright, hold on, I'll BRB as I restart the game. Suppose I'll grab a sip of my drink while it's loading up. I definitely should have grabbed a bigger drink now that I think about it, but whatever. I guess since there's no event going on, I just went to the regular Cantos. One from Canto 6, I guess? Wait, no, that's the ego from the Battle Pass. Huh. Weird. There we are.
밤이 다가오는군. 퇴근 전에 이런 느릿.
There we are. I don't mind showing people I'm currently using Dawn. Switched around a bit, but I've had Dawn for a bit, I guess. If it crashes again, then I'll have to change things around. Maybe it's the characters I'm using. Maybe it's the fight itself. We'll see. I'd hate to have to cancel it early if it's the fight, but we'll see, I guess. Or maybe it's the win rate button. Please don't tell me you've forsaken me, win rate button. A fun way to handle things. Dang, good damage. Boy,
このまま行けば敵を食い止められます。敵は深手を負っています。
An enemy's been heavily wounded. Oh yeah, a lot of those hit their stagger threshold. That's always satisfying. Haha. Enemies. Oh yeah, you'll also notice I finally got Honglu's egos in order. I can actually show that after this turn, I suppose. As mentioned, I'm going in pretty hard on Tremor, and my understanding is Honglu is a very good one.
단테님 봤어요?
Oh yeah, I can show it here.
何か変化が
Yeah, my understanding is that Cavernous Wailing here is very, very good on Tremor teams, so I decided to use it. Thankfully, it was not one I had to shard, but I'm not gonna lie, I still want to focus pretty hard on his, to remain oneself. Although the nice thing is that they're two different ranks, so I can just use them both. I'm not forced to choose. So thankfully, it's not like the, Fluid Sack and Command Meltdown situation where I have no choice but to give up that one. Unfortunate, but eh.
이상 징수 진행 불가능.
완전히 멈춘. 취약한 시간은 전부 징수했으니 상관없지.
도박장죄로
Here we are.
의뢰를 냈다 싶더니
And we're gonna be very close to leveling up, which is good because I'm hoping to at least go a reasonable way into the game.
아, 한 달은 의뢰 없이 놀아도 되겠는데요?
Disruption Part
사무소
2.
놓았네.
몸 좀 풀어볼까요?
해보겠네.
Ah.
그쪽 방향이 아닐 텐데.
나중엔
Excellent.
왔어요?
Hit the stagger threshold.
가속. 정당한
They have
공무
their
집행.
reasons, but we cannot stop here.
단테님 봤어요?
Ooh, I don't think they're doing too good. Like, thankfully, these. I'm pretty sure I love my sinking team. The enemy benefits from the low sandy tail coins. Oh,
물론
yeah. I imagine Bamboo Hatted Kim was very, very fun for you.
물었군.
I sure hope there's no enemies that get powered up by Tremor Burst, because otherwise my team might have a little bit of trouble. The enemy is heavily wounded. Time to go in for the kill. Still, I can't deny sinking was very powerful. It's the reason I was able to beat Earl King when he was Heathcliff ? That fight tripped me up even harder than Ricardo did. Either Ricardo fight, I should specify.
대대장.
And unfortunately, I should probably put my hands on the. I sure might love my Max Dawn up top. Hey, for fighting me not once but twice. Oh, that was. I had that issue really badly. Oh, yeah, cards on table. I already know there's gonna be another big wall boss this chapter. I don't know if I'll run into them tonight or tomorrow night, but part of the reason I wanted to make sure my team was in good shape was entirely because I knew they were coming up. But hey, this is the most recent chapter. It makes sense they wouldn't hold back. It's going to be fun when I get to do Canto 9, that's for sure. My team is still a good bit of random bullshit go, but the good news is it does have at least a reasonable Tremor focus. Especially since I do have one of the keystone components in Honglu's Sad Frog ego. Sorry, I forgot the name off the top of my head. Cavernous Wailing, yeah. But yeah, the way I was able to beat Earl King is simply by virtue of using some sinking to keep his sanity under control. Because holy crap, 20 free sanity every turn is absolutely crazy. And yeah, Ricardo and other bosses have been getting it too, so I'm guessing that's going to be standard going forward, just to try and prevent bosses from getting tanked sanity too quickly. Thankfully, if I were to go full sinking, I could make it down the dumps anyway. Ooh, manager level up. Wonderful. I should probably at least bring myself down to where it regenerates. There we are. Yeah, I should at least bring it back to regenerates so that I can still do the story. I don't mind using a cube if I got restored a bit. Ah, Petals, we're finally going to be meeting more of Honglu's family. Alright. Entering Dongyuan right now. Despite some troubles along the way, it seemed we arrived at our destination mostly unhurt. Dongyuan, Honglu's old home.
시간이
Ooh,
얼마 남지
running out of
않은
time.
프랑스 씨.
Faust, I'm sure you
제 작전의
understood the
핵심은
most important part of my plan, yes?
그리 보기
It
좋은
is
광경은 아닐 거야.
unlikely to be a pleasant sight to behold.
핵심은
Remember, the plan
그들이
hinges on your
여러분을
patience,
죽이려고
everyone. You have to
당황하지
remain
않고
calm and
기다리는
wait,
것일
even if they
뿐이다.
freak out and actively try to
지뢰
kill
겁을
you.
먹고 자비하려는
There's a chance they might
떨어질 수
panic and
있겠죠.
immediately order the sinners to be executed on the spot.
공원의 가지로 심사하는
However,
자의
it is
판단이
unlikely that the
그 정도는
person whose
아닐 거라
responsibility to
생각한다.
judge the next family of the hierarch will make such a hasty choice.
그렇죠.
Exactly, everything will be fine as long as the decider has the capacity for patience. Would Honglu know if they are or not?
죽여?
Oh, execution?
얘기야?
What?
그럼
Great, I'll
다음
follow up with a
연락은
subsequent contact once you've
1차전을
safely
무사히
completed the
마친
first
후에
round of
하는
evaluations. After the cryptic exchange with Faust, Sada leaped gracefully from the moving Harlequin as Heathcliff murmured half asleep. We watched her grow smaller and smaller as the distance grew, but what caught our eyes was scattered humans of the reconstruction day had evicted from their homes. They were trying to drag their broken bodies off the road, sobbing and writhing. This is horrible. There isn't anything we can do to help, but such a sense of futility and powerlessness will negatively impact the efficient performance of your professional obligation.
차라리
Repeated exposure to similar stimuli is recommended to desensitize oneself to this sensation. Honglu, how do you feel about going back home after so long? Sinclair changed subject. I don't know.
말하려고 하냐?
I don't even need to ask him, lad. No, it can't be easy. As for me, blimey, I stayed 1,000 times. Wonder if I should just turn around and leave.
만약에
What if I knock to those gates, but she... Heathcliff came to a suffocating stop, his voice trembling. The other sinners stared at him in silence.
뭔데요? 말을 왜 하다가
What was it? What is that? Why'd you stop in the middle of a... wow, look at those cool windows. Think we could swap them out with the other images. I quickly tried to swerve the subject, but I got was Ishmael's scolding glare as if to tell me, not the time. This is precisely the time, Ishmael. We're not... The hole's a reason I'm trying to prevent it. Ooh, I remember what happened each time one of us went to the part of the city that held our memories. Happiness, anger, sorrow, and joy. And as we traveled, I remember they were looking at sceneries that only they could see. Roja, you were actively tried your best to crack jokes. Sinclair, you tried your best to hold back the welling tears again and again. Isang, you shut your eyes for a very, very long time. Ishmael, you couldn't stop talking to yourself while glaring down at the lake's surface. Heathcliff, I saw you scared and anxious, shaping your hair over and over again. You've been really watching us that closely, huh?
우리가
Oh, did we? Spring leaves, petals scatter, all shall turn around to find the doors which they belong and return forevermore. Think everyone has a small amount of petals gathered for themselves? Wait, I don't. Why would I collect some like that? Then you simply haven't discarded them yet. There was still a transparent smile on his face, but I think I saw a burying, sinking shadow behind it. The moment I felt that, a familiar light came into view, and I immediately understood what was about to go on. The golden bow is close, and it's resonating with Honglu's fathoms. They watch the flower burial of mine and walk away. Who lays me to rest once I die? When spring passes, youth passes, as wrinkles shear it all away. Flowers pass, people pass, ignorant to remain where they hide.
왜 항상 이해하기 어려운
Why do you recite those strange, complicated poems, Dayu?
늙지 않을 방법 같은
There are plenty of ways to remain young, aren't there? Because we needn't see the snow in our hair to know spring will pass.
꽃잎들은
Why are you cleaning up all those fallen petals?
물에
Just float them away downstream, you'll dirty your hands. And be so wasteful? How will we hear the sound of the falling rain once we sweep the petals away? This is a remembrance of a rainy day, so I'm going to treasure it. Besides, these beautiful blossoms will get so dirty in the rain if we let them float away. So please, don't scatter the petals from your embrace, big bro Bayu. Honglu, is there anyone you miss here?
네.
No, there isn't. Is that possible though? Isn't your family here? And a bunch of people that are important to you?
글쎄요.
Well, as long as I believe they'll be doing well, there isn't any need for me to yearn to see them again. You still treasure your petals?
아니요.
No, I scattered them the day I departed my home.
그래서 이젠
So my
기억이
rainy
나는
days
애
are now silent. I see.
보신 거죠?
You saw that too, didn't you? Didn't you,
제
Dante?
기억을.
You saw my memory. Yeah, there's no point in hiding it. Well, don't worry. As shown by Don Quixote's chapter, we are good at keeping a secret. Amusingly. I did, yes. He laughed. He wasn't surprised or angry that I peered into his memories. Do you want to tell us about your parents? Or, yeah, you talked about your grandmother pretty often, right? What kind of people are they? Sinclair added carefully. Maybe he was trying to commiserate, tenuous as the connection might have been. We were headed to his home to meet his family anyway. They're both very wise in the ways of the world. Grandmother always treated me preciously, so did my mother and father. Oh, we're almost there. I see the garden. This is one massive garden. We still have some time before we get to the main buildings. I remember the days when the deer and hares would frolic out in the garden. Well, I can see myself taking a long walk around here. It'd take a whole day and some to cover the whole ground. I usually only lingered around my own room. It's dangerous to stray too far, after all. Yeah, now we understand how people could get lost in the literal sense here if the house is constantly getting more and more space. Dangerous? Why? There's the stranger danger, getting lost, targeted. Besides, it's very dark at night. Oh, it ain't a very big deal, is it? Kids run around, scrape their faces on branches, trip and eat shite on the pavement all the time. I'm sure you would have run freely in the garden, Heathcliff. But it's more important to always be careful. When I was 5, someone had lathered deadly poison on a random tree branch. Ah, poison? I had a little brother who liked to frolic like you do, Heathcliff. By some coincidence, he happened to be running around the same tree that had some branches lathered with poison. What had to transpire thereafter? I'm sure he got better. Zirin told me he'll be fine after 100 nights rest. That's because Zirin's so smart. I'm sure it happened exactly what she said. Oh, please don't tell me he went to a farm upstate. That's their version of went to a farm upstate. Slang, basically a way to tell someone they died without actually saying, yeah, they did. His true name. I swear, people always message me as soon as I start streaming. Entering the Grand Flower Hall now! It wasn't long before our arrival to the new place was made known by the palanquin bearer's sonorous announcement. Okay, so that's why Sod had to demand we go in there at all costs. It's because she needed to tell us a quote-unquote plan that apparently is going to require we not be executed on the spot because the person's not being patient, and that couldn't be done before, presumably to prevent possible leaking. And I guess given how we've been onset by attacks even when people were under the impression Honglu wasn't interested in taking the family throne, I guess that kind of says something, huh? What's evaluating Mina? Grand Flower Hall, so they can call it a place for banquets? Oh, you think banquets this village-sized venue? Isn't that a lake over there? Oh no, that's a pond. Pond? Damn. Once we arrive, we'll find ourselves a welcoming party for Zishun and me. Roger, would you like to stuff yourself? You should be able to stuff yourself to your heart's content this time. I mean, it's been a while, hasn't it? Hey, you don't have to tell me twice, Honglu. That sounds like a good time. I don't think I've been excited like this in a long time. Oh, is that ship over there? You have a ship? Yeah, we'd sometimes go boating. Oh, and Zishun's building is going to be right across that pond. We each get a building of your own. Yes, we do. So when I first departed, I found the concept of an entire family living under the same roof so fascinating. Alas, it would be quite the challenge for thy family to see one another, and that's exactly why we each get a building. Oh, we even talking about the same thing here. Alack for woe, we could have merrily enjoyed our vacation as a young Honglu's residence all along? Oh yeah, we could have had a vacation there, that'd been nice. That wouldn't have worked, Dawn. When I left home, Grandmother and the elders really impressed upon me that footsteps shall eventually bring you home when the time is right. Thus witness and only witness as much of the world as you may before you make the return. I was wondering when that would be, but time slipped through fingers just through that, and it has brought me here. Most sinners did not welcome their turn. Some of them were even terrified by it. Sometimes they had to confront what they'd been avoiding all of their lives. And for some, the important thing was that important things that were once forgotten or lost were waiting for their return. But their reluctance is not surprising at all. I don't think I'd welcome an opportunity to get my memories back with open arms if it was thrust upon me out of nowhere, especially if I was getting dragged there against my will. But despite the fact that it couldn't be more obvious that his turn has arrived, Honglu was as tranquil as he always was. He's always been able to remain aloof no matter what. Maybe it won't be different this time either. But even so, can I judge us so hastily? Young Master has returned! Thus, again, with the deep-throated pronouncement of our arrival, the door opened.
필요하실 텐데.
Here we
어서
are, you must all be
들어오세요.
tired. Come in, come in. Leaving behind the sinners, who are still reeling from an astronomical level of opulence on display, he lightly bounced off the palanquin and moseyed off to the building.
그거 참
Oh my, quite the
설렘도 떨림도
light-footed steps you take, unhindered.
차분한 걸음.
Oh no, it's not you mean the. Quite the light-footed steps he takes, unhindered by excitement nor trepidation. Right? Rich boy's got none to fear because he's used to this kind of poshness, that's all this is. Verily, this may be a subtle expression of that teensy part of him that longeth to see his family again. Yeah, the fact they even got their own house, and he said, yeah, that's the point, when Don said it's difficult for all of them to see one another. And it does seem like the family doesn't like each other. So it could be that he is indeed forcing a smile like always. Once well left, I find myself beset by overwhelming vestitudes and objects of great magnitude.
하인들도 대체
Just how many servants they have.
술시가
Grandmother
되면
will
할머니가
visit
방문하시나요?
us once the Zhu hour arrives.
연애는
The banquet will
그때
start then.
시작했고.
Zhu hour?
술 씨는
The Zhu hour
19시부터
it refers to
21시
time
사이를
between
의미합니다.
1900 hours and 2100
동부
hours.
특정 지역에서
This is a unique
간혹
time system
사람들은
used in certain
고유
regions of the
시간
east.
추가로
In addition, it would be best to remember Honglu's grandmother as the
대관원의 가주입니다.
hierarch. It would not be an
홍원의
incorrect
수장이라고
assessment to see
이해하셔도
her as the
틀리지 않습니다.
ruler of Haenyang. Your relative is the head of a wing, I see.
네.
Yes,
이제
though
곧
she'll be
다음
handing that over to
후계자에게
the next heir pretty
가주를
soon.
이제 와서 가주의
Why
자리를
now?
넘기려는
What does she
이유가
seek to
뭐지?
achieve by abdicating at this precise time? Otis, as she probably saw an ulterior motive behind every move, inquired.
언제나 때가
She's
올
been saying that her
거라고
time will eventually
하시면서요.
come, and so she's carried this responsibility for far too long.
갑자기 나타나서
I bet she'd be pretty
가족에게는
shocked to hear you'll be taking
참관한다고
part. Oh, I don't know about that.
어쩌면
maybe she'll take it
담담하지
well.
못하여 나갈 이유는 없지만
There's never been a
나가지
reason
않을
for me to
이유도
bother
없었을까요?
participating, but there wasn't a reason for me to not either. Hey, there's Zishun and Wei over there. They looks like they both arrived safely. She who arrived before us shot us the briefest of glance before looking away with exaggerated disinterest.
방금
Aw, she just turned her back on us.
그 잠깐
Well, it didn't
사이에
take long for
되게
things to become super
서먹해졌네요.
awkward. Oh, we must capture this opportunity to seat ourselves adjacent to young Jishun.
그랬어.
Too late, we're forever banned from ever getting anywhere nearer. Yet wherefore, we're no longer Zishun's faction. Her hostility is to be expected.
분위기가
Things have changed. Us versus them. In-group versus the out-group.
전장은
Deception and treachery are
언제나
natural
노력과
parts of
배신이 도사리는
war.
것이지. 오늘의 아군은
An ally of
내일의
today
적이
may as
되기도
well be an enemy tomorrow.
없다는 말을
Ah, that's a funny
이렇게
way of
또
saying I don't have any friends. Wait, did you just...
방금 뭐
Yeah, I could probably quote Machiavelli's The Prince out of that, but yeah. Wielding that kind of absolute power comes with a number of drawbacks, and that includes you can never truly have anyone close to you. Of course, you also have to be up for administration, so if you just want to be a hermit or something, that wouldn't work. Ah, there are my parents. Hold on, we'll just walk right up to them. Blight me, at least tell us their names.
아버지
Ah,
조남은
father's name,
가시정,
his name is Zhang,
그리고 어머니는
and Deng Yuan. They call my
대관원에서
mother
왕부인이라고
Lady Wang.
부르신답니다. 출가 이후
I greet you for the first time since my departure.
아, 아버지 조남은 가시정, 그리고
그러니까.
어머니는 대관원에서 왕부인이라고 불리신답니다.
Young? Oh, it looks like he's saying Lady Young.
지금
I'm trying to go with the
귀가했습니다.
pronunciation the game itself gives.
가시보, 지금 귀가했습니다.
5.
가시보, 지금
벌써 왔는데.
You're early.
보가
In
이게
too many years.
오랜만에
See you
얼굴을
again for so
보니
long. It is so good to see your face.
정말이지.
Oh, I don't know what I should even say. Father's eyes dart nervously between us and Hong Lu. Meanwhile, his mother gingerly brings him in for careful embraces as though she was in the presence of something so utterly, deeply moving. It was more of pure joy. It was more than the pure joy of a reunion. So they're Hong Lu's
극진히
parents.
환영해 주시니
Thank you so much for your
감사해요.
hospitality. You certainly spared no expenses.
그런데
So who are these people
같이
you've
온
come here with?
분들은
대단한
Well,
숫자는
there aren't too many of
아니지만
them. They're my friends I've made in the outside world.
부하라고 소개하던
Well, at least he's not introducing us as
누구보다
lackeys like I said,
많네요.
someone I know. Oh, that was... Yeah, I'm pretty sure Heathcliff was only saying that to keep up the act. He doesn't actually feel like we're his lackeys. His mother slowly turns around to look at us. I mean, it's a weird thing to say, but somehow it almost felt like she was looking down at each of us, one by one.
반가워요.
I'm so glad to meet you all.
우리 보기가 어릴 때부터 참 고집이
He's
많았던
always been such a
아이였어.
stubborn child. I'm sure he's quite the handful to accompany you on the journeys, but I hope we can still embrace him despite every,
데이트 고집이요?
stubborn? Whatever was said, they don't seem happy to hear that.
보가 왜
Tell your
친구분들이
friends to call you by that name.
너를
What of
그런
your noble
이름으로
blessed name
부르게
bestowed
된
upon you
거니?
by Reverend Darren, our
뭐야?
elders. Wait, what's going on with her? Hong Lu reached out and yet gently yet indifferently held his mother's violently trembling hands.
당연하잖아요, 어머니.
Of course I would, mother.
그
Because that name is
이름이니까요.
too noble indeed. Yes.
아, 그렇지.
Yes, it is not a name that any
아무나 입에
rabble
담을
should,
만큼
so
가벼운
needless to
이름
speak. Of course, of
가무렴.
course.
이쪽도
Oh, do you have an
원래
also have an old name and new
있잖아.
name?
피사에서 홍보
Don't you remember?
보옥도련님이라고
Back in
불렀었던
P
거
Corp, Wei called
기억나?
Hong Ilu young Master Bao.
지난번 홍원에서
Also, remember how he announced himself the duel the day at H Co-op? He introduced himself as Bao as a G.
사정이 있어서
I th-
다른
Your
이름을
family. I thought it was
쓰는구나.
just a pseudonym
했지만
back then, given the circumstances. Huh, I didn't. Which is kind of funny. I have not been spoiled too much on this chapter, though, like I said, there's unfortunately one fight in which I had no choice but to get spoiled, which is very unfortunate.
뭐
Well, I ain't like,
우리랑 다르게
honestly, your real
고귀하신
name's cheap,
이름이라
it's
이거냐?
nobility or whatever.
고작
It's just a
이름인데
name, so you can
부른다고
say as many
닿진
times as you
않아요.
want and won't depreciate in whatever value it has.
하지만
Oh, but some people do actually believe it does, I suppose. It was wise of you to refrain from using that name.
그래,
Right,
그래.
to let your precious name be known is to encourage knives in the dark, even here too.
너를 암습할 자가 얼마나 많겠니? 모친의 말씀대로
Because as your mother says, were your true name to be made known, any individual with a passing connection would have easily connected you to Hongyeon.
대부분의
It
이름은
is said that most names are repositories of their keeper's origins. In the eastern region of the city, when the parents name their children, they imbue them with a meaning. It carries their wish for their children's place and use in the world. You, what's your name mean?
이름은
My name? It's a
부모님뿐만
culmination of
아니라
wishes, not only those of my
많은 분의
parents,
소망을
but those of
담아서
many
만들어졌죠.
more.
태어날 때부터 옥을
It means
가지고
I was born with a
태어났다는
precious
뜻이랍니다.
jade. Awful.
끔찍하고
Hong Lu's better.
조용히 말하세요.
At least try to whisper that.
나도
I'll call the
부르던
rich
대로
boy however I
부르란다.
want to. If I'm ever forced to call him
혹시라도
master or
고
tell him to serve out shit like
부르니
that, I'd rather take a
이름으로
punch or
불러대야
two from the
한다면
guide.
차라리 길잡이 그 잡자한테
I could feel the horrified gaze of the servants. I don't
네.
mind, so please continue to call me Hong Lu if you'd like. Please seat yourselves, honored guests. Food shall be served soon. Sounds good to me. Oh, what's all this?
진짜 먹으라고 주는 거 맞아요?
What, they actually expect us to eat all this? I don't think I've ever been intimidated by food before. Ah, someone doesn't have much experience then. There was quite literally a mountain of dishes on the table. I was starting to wonder if the purpose was to flaunt wealth more than feed us a reasonable amount of food.
이건 말이야.
But a feast, I can ask for refills, right? Oh, yes. Anyway, what's up with those empty seats? Are we still killing time for some guests to arrive?
그건 아닐 것 같아요.
I don't think so. They're probably seats for my
이곳에
older
참석하는
siblings
걸
somewhere.
원하지
They just
않은
didn't want to
이
attend.
대관은 오늘은 저를
This is a
환영하기 위해
banquet to welcome
만들어진
me, after
자리니까요.
all. I'm sure they believe it's a waste of
있어봤자
time to attend.
참
Man, they better be on some real busy schedule to miss all this.
가복께서
No,
당도하셨나이다.
venerated by our presence, graces us.
가복께서
Venerated by
당도하셨나이다.
graces us. Refined servants. With that announcement, utter silence quickly devoured the busy hubbub of the banquet. Those who were sitting quickly rose their feet and bowed. Those who were standing knelt down all fours, their backs bent so low their foreheads were nearly touching the floor. And the woman walking out between them, the crowd itself parting down the middle from her sheer presence.
아, 할머니가
Oh,
오셨네요.
there's grandmother. It was Hong Lu's grandmother, Emily Hierarch of H Corp, Chief Executive Director. Camus' presence was at once warm, gentle, yet immense and overwhelming, like the personification of an immobile mountain. Well, at least she's not frustrating to be around like Alphonse was. Would you believe I've never used that Yahtzee quo before I met Alpha? Funny. I guess you always have one thing that's always in your back pocket until the absolute most perfect moment. You're graced by your presence. You're graced by your presence.
뭐야?
Should we bow too? I don't think you could bow any lower with your face halfway in the bowl, so you should be fine, probably. She's surrounded by the hay show as well. Guys, everything's gonna be fine as long as we don't do anything stupid. As everyone was bowing, awed and humbled, only Hong Lu looked straight without bowing. Then he got up from his seat and walked towards her.
할머니,
It's been a while, grandmother.
고uk도련님?
Please ascend,
가까이
young Master
올라오시지.
Ba. It seemed as though special permission was needed to even stand next to her, as Hong Lu was allowed to approach her only after the Cern gave the go-ahead.
보가. 보가.
I genuinely don't know how Hong Lu's name is supposed to be pronounced. I'm sorry, I'll just stick to Hong Lu, I guess.
얼마나
You must have walked and toiled tirelessly on your journey home.
그렇지 않아요.
Not all,
할머니.
grandmother. I was able to learn so many new
함께했던
things,
분들이
thanks to everyone who
모든
treated me so
친구들이
nicely.
배움을
Had you
통달하고자
sought the master
했다면
of learning,
어떤
master the
학문이든
art of learning, no master, regardless of
글방에
pursuit, would have been out of
앉혀놓을 수도
reach.
있었겠지만
You could have learned much in the halls of erudition from them.
글방에 앉아
Yet the
아무리
world taught from
학문에
sheets of paper
능통해졌다
simply that.
하더라도
Words
그저
on
그뿐일
paper.
우리는
We wish that you would learn more of the secular
세상
world,
물정에 능통해지고
not let flow
세월을
betwixt your
헛수로
fingers
보내지
next
않길
the
바라요.
time that is given to you. I know this opportunity is more than what I deserved, grandmother.
그래도
I
가주자리를
appreciate your
내려놓기
return all the
전에
same, that you
이렇게
deigned to
잊지
return
않고
before
돌려줘서
my abdication
고맙구나.
of great responsibility.
아무래도
Verily, it appeareth young
홍보를
Hong
Limbus
Liu,
company
shining the
합류한
Limbus
것은
company and Grand Turismo short.
그란 투리스모?
Gran Turismo, what's
뭔데?
that? And the two of you
너희
stop
둘
babbling
다
with your mouths full. Young master, families, most eminent self.
집안의 도련님들은
Such a grand tour, thus
본격적인 대외
coined
활동에 나서기
Gran
전에
Turismo.
집안에서
If thou
여행을
wilt
보내기도
for,
한다네.
Lord commence their public activities. The purpose to learn the varied experiences cannot be gained from books. To grow familiar with the world outside.
저기 있는
I hear that you have
시청자는
met Zishu in the
이미
world
한
not
번
so long
인사를
ago.
나눈
그럼요.
I have.
현명한
A
아이.
bright child she is, well prepared to take on the challenges of the evaluations, I presume.
맞아요.
I agree. I'm sure she'll wisely overcome the trials. Indeed. Have you paid a visit to the revered elders then? I will soon.
왕부인도 이곳으로
Lady
올라오거라.
Young, ascend here as well.
송구합니다.
With your mercy,
가문님.
of course. Hong Lu's mother hurried up where she stood.
하나뿐인 아들이
It must cause your
출가하여
heart great
강물을 떠돌고
distress to know
있으니
that have your one
마음이
only
그렇지
son
않을
depart his
것이다.
home, wander the world beyond the hedges. Oh,
아닙니다,
of course
가문님.
not.
저는
Oh, I'm simply glad that my
우리
son
포옥이 이렇게
has
제
returned as a
몫을
man who
하는
can now
생각에
more than carry his own
엄청난
weight and
모습으로
unharmed at that.
그러니
Thus,
공세척할
dear
생각은 없지만
Bao, I do not mean to rush, but when are you planning to depart
아직
again?
정해진 건
Oh, nothing has been
없어요.
decided yet, mother. I see. I'm simply concerned that were your stay to be
나-
prolonged, you might
나는
fade before your
그저
duties are
어서
completed.
소임을
Complete and
다하고
return
돌아와야
soon. So the agreement has graciously made us has been fulfilled.
그래.
Indeed,
잃지도
lose
말고
not, forget not.
너는
You are our family's
우리
one and only
가문의
jade.
항해에 둘도 없는
Hereby, our peerless
진귀한
treasure.
복.
Tarry not to overlong in this mundane
이
world.
속세에
Leave when the time is
남아있지
right and
말고.
fulfill your work.
그럴게요.
Okay, grandmother,
할머니.
mother.
어머니.
They're not talking about sacrificing him in some twisted ritual, are they? They probably are. Crap. Well, as long as he's not sacrificed to become the vessel of some weird god, I think it should be fine. Oh man, that was a long one. I thought the sinners were doomed to chew uncomfortably through this incredibly awkward meal, but Mu and her retinue of Heisho left the banquet hall quite promptly after that exchange. It was as though they had no more reason to remain here. It is odd they should inquire Hong Lu of his departure plans upon the very welcoming of his return.
그러게요.
Right.
아끼는 것처럼 보이다가
Right, one minute it appears like they care about him, but then the appearance of that care for one's own child is also quite distinct and unusual compared to the typical display of emotional intimacy expressed by average households.
오,
Hey, Bao. That's when an unfamiliar chipper voice hopped jovially into
왜
the
나를
conversation.
제일 먼저 찾아주지 않았어?
Why didn't you come to see me
내가
first? I've been
머물던
staying in the same building ever
네가
since you
출발했을
departed
때
here, you
이후로
know?
좀 같았단 말이야.
아,
Big
보천
sis
누나구나.
about.
오랜만이야.
Been so long.
아, 보천 누나구나. 오랜만이야. 여기까지 와서
You come all the way to welcome a banquet to fill a seat? I
고마워.
appreciate that.
보호기가
Had I known you'd be
오는지
coming
미리
home today, I would have
알았더라면
summoned everyone I could from the
우리
family to see you
사실
too.
때문에 다른
Big
사람들까지
brother
불러왔을
Pan's really
텐데.
itching to know how you've been doing. Yeah, sure he was. The Shun been sitting in silence, muttered to herself. Who else have you greeted since you arrived today?
부모님과
My
가족님께
parents and grandmother.
정말?
Really? So I'm the first
그러면
one
내가-
then? She made a cheerful remark for leaning close to his eye.
미국은
Your jade is always so
언제
glimmering and
봐도
pristine,
가정집은
Bio.
깨끗하대.
Look, I made myself a
네가
necklace the same
떠난
color of your
계획도
eye and
계속
wore it every
기억하라고.
day to constantly remind myself of
그
you.
색과 똑같은
Do you see it?
그렇구나.
Oh, so you have.
계속
Thank you for
기억해줬다니.
remembering me.
고마워.
So, gonna introduce us, or?
아니
Hey, why wouldn't we just let this nice reunion
오랜만에
pay out?
좋아한데
Play out, man. Roger stepped forward, unable to stand the curiosity. Oh, she's...
부차라고 한답니다.
I'm Baoshai, Baoshai of the Zhu family. I'm
보호기와
very profound
깊은
relationship with dear
인연을
Bio
맺고
here.
깊은 인연?
Very profound relationship. He
본인의
is my
언약한
betrothed, and
사이니.
I am to him. I'd say the pretty profound, would you say? Herodian Heathcliff. Wait, what?
그렇게
Oh, it's
놀라실
nothing to be
일도
surprised about.
아니랍니다.
These profound relationships can be
어르신들이
established
지나가듯 약속해서
quite
맺는
effortlessly in
인연은
the simple
워낙
exchange
흔하니까요.
of a simple exchange of agreements between elders. Okay, so it's an arranged marriage.
아니,
Hey, you
그래도
could have at least
많은
given us a
말이라도
hint. But I won't be
어차피
married
제가
until I
혼인을
leave
하는
Limbus
건
company, though, right?
그러니
I just
굳이
thought it wouldn't be
아이를
relevant enough to
필요는
share.
없다고 생각-
저 아까
Sorry,
살짝
overhearing
들렸는데
you guys are Bao's friends, correct? If so, I'm
지금까지
curious what kind of life you lived out there.
바깥에서
Care to share
어떤
some tales of your
생활을
journey?
가라.
Don't have stories for
함부로
kids,
들으려.
shoo.
왜요?
Why, but I love stories about bloodshed. One of Big Sister Baochai's pastimes is curating creepy stories of urban legends. Okay, in that case, I think the time-killing time case might be a good one. Honglu was actually relevant in that story, after all. Then maybe I'll share some. Why? What about everyone else? I love these adventures.
그럼 나
Careful what you wish for. I beseech you to find a seat, for I shall not regale thee with a tale which adventure most wonderful valor. Brace thyself for this particularly old and terrifying tale. Carries a big scary bear in a cavern. You're finished with your meals. Why don't we go back to our residences? You're so angry, Jishun. Last I heard, you lost much of your followers in a large battle, didn't you? I'm so sorry. I used 3 more three handkerchiefs wiping my tears upon hearing that news. So the Zhu's family heard about it too, huh? You're not wrong, but it's irrelevant to what I've brought to the family war. Always a big fan of your confidence, Jishun. It's a good look, you know. That reminds me, you better watch your back, Big Sis Boke. It looks like Big Brother Bayou's learned to sink a knife in your back. With all that free time. What'd she mean by knifing people in the back? Just had a small falling out with Jishun, that's all. She must have been trying to get you on her side, huh? Yeah, no wonder she wanted you on her team. Bayou's always excelled at whatever he does without stressing or losing that happy smile.
그냥
It's just kind of worked out that way. I guess it can be a bit irritating like that, huh? Such people, though rare, do in fact exist. Oh, that reminds me, do you by any chance run to Big Brother?
나는 못 보았지.
I haven't, but they have. Oh, that's good. Placed her hand over her chest as though she just survived an incredibly dangerous accident before eyeing us anxiously. So, what happened? I didn't know he was trying to ally with Yua. Didn't seem like anyone else was viewing that alliance as an alliance other than she herself, though. But it must have been a pretty open secret among the candidates. He was trying to ally with Yua. They cut Big Brother Yua's head off while he was with us.
이와 형님의 목이 잘렸어.
Oh, horizontally or vertically? H. So this is the 3rd time, huh? Yua's really incomparable. He really never knows when to zip it and sit down. Big Brother. I had a feeling he'd be there when the family war begins. Everyone heard the creepy song in the back streets, you know? Gosh, things get so awkward and hostile here every time there's any mention of him. Well, I guess it's fortunate he won't be coming after me once the competition begins. And why is that? Because I'm too charming and adorable to kill outright, of course. Besides, whatever Big Brother's goals are, they probably have nothing to do with the Zhu family.
그럴
I could see that. I can see that. Bao Chai took a step towards Hong Loon, leaning close. Do I smell a fragrance still, Bao?
보천
You have
누나에게선
never reeked, big sister
고약한
Bao Chi. Bao, I've always been and always will be residing at the Ginger Plant Court. Promise to pay me a visit before you leave. With that, she gracefully walked out of the room.
저희도 이만
Well, how
돌아가는 게
about we start
어떨까요?
heading back? This
이곳은
place can
핵심한
be
데여도 곧바로
pretty dark
깜깜해지거든요.
around the high hour. What? Why'd you leave?
별거
She's just a
아니랍니다.
childhood friend.
어릴 때
I call her
종종
Big
같이
Sis
놀던
just because she's
누나예요.
older than me. It's just something we do here when one friend's a bit older.
대관원에서 제게
It's also one of the
친절을
very few.
보여주신
Okay, so that
얼마 안
explains it.
되는 분중
Despite calling
하나였죠.
everyone quote unquote siblings, they're not literally blood related. You'd think I'd have realized that earlier, but well, whatever. So, where should we head to next? Good question. Going by the scale of everything here, should be expecting something real
제
ritzy, right?
손님으로 오셨으니
You're my guest, so you should be able to stay with
대관원 안에 있는 제
at
방에서
my
묵으면 될
building
거예요.
within here.
그리 멀지 않아서
It's within walking
가마
distance from
없이
here, so
금방
we'll be
갈수
there in no
있다니.
time, even on foot. Good. I'd really rather not have to fight those sweepers again. And I hope the rumors about Ricardo being in actually plot relevant in next Canto is something that is true. As I mentioned, I get why people like him. He's a pretty good. He leaves a very strong impression, and he's got a literal aura with him, but he only ever really shows up, gives us a fight once, and then gets kicked out by something before he could really do anything, so it feels like a filler. Ah, we're actually gonna have a fight this time.
판 돌아갑니다.
Feels good knowing my team can handle all this now.
자,
Ta-da,
여기랍니다.
here we are.
가깝다고 한
Well, it's a pretty
것치곤
long walk.
꽤
Still
걸었네요.
technically within walking distance, I mean, but this
이
place is
홍원이라고
called
부른답니다.
Yongmun.
홍원에서 제일 향긋한 꽃나무로 만든 방이어서
The joyous red
숨을
court.
크게 들이쉬면
The room was
말이죠.
made from the most beautiful aromatic flower tree within H Corp. So try taking a deep breath, and you can smell the
이렇게
lovely fragrance and the
꽃내음이
aroma
코끝을 타고 퍼져요.
pervading, spreading from the very
다른
tip of your
건물은 안
nose.
그러는데 말이죠.
It's unique to this
거의
building.
그렇구려.
Very much so.
또
It's an
있어 있는
unseen and
것이
invisible
제법
thing,
향기롭소.
yet it remains much of its pleasant redolence. This place is huge too. You've been living here all
네.
along? Yes, I
넓은
was told to
방에서
stay in a
지내라고
larger
하셨지만
room, but I preferred this
여기가
place
마음에
more.
대련님,
It's been long,
오랜만에
young master.
인사드립니다.
Jiren supporting. Oh, is she? Have you been well,
수빈.
Jiren?
잘 지냈어?
네,
Yes, I am as I have always been. Watched us emotionally as our rowdy crowd poured into the yard. Her expression did not change even when she saw Hong Lu, who presumably hadn't come home in quite some time.
이분들은
Are they the young master's guests? I will guide them to their room. Please follow me.
저는 따로 방문할
Now that we're
때가
here,
있어서
I've got to pay a visit somewhere, so I'll be back soon.
어디를 가시는 겐가?
So will their journey allow us to accompany the... it's okay. Just on my way to say hello and pay respect to the elders. So it'll be a lot better if I go there alone. This
뭐,
way.
어느 작전이나
어.
그랬지만
I guess I could say this about every operation, but the weight of our mission doesn't really sink in until we're actually here. Yeah, it seems like this isn't something we're ever really gonna get used to, for better or for worse. You're talking about the family hierarchy war, right?
다른 후보들은 이것 하나만을 위해 몇 년을 준비해 왔다고 하니까.
Hey, the other
저희는
candidates have been
그걸
preparing this for
하룻밤만에
years,
해내야만
while
하는
we
거고요.
have what, an overnight?
나는 벼락치기
I don't know, I'm a
타입이어서
procrastinate till the last minute kind of girl, so I'm sure we got a handle on this.
고조리한 상황에서
This is not the
임무를
first
수행해야
instance in
하는
which we are
것은
demanded to work through a
이곳이
task in an
처음이야.
unfavorable, inequitable situation.
상관없지 않겠나?
Why does it matter? Our goal isn't to
아니지
claim the throne of the hierarchy anyway.
천만
Yeah,
다행이지 않겠어요?
Well, isn't it such a relief that our goal isn't to come first place in the hierarchy war?
1등을 할
Does
필요가
thou meanest that we
없다는
needn't be
말인가?
first?
당연하죠.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, why would we
저희가
want a
왜
sinner to
수감자를
become the
홍원의
head of
가지로
H Corp?
만들겠어요?
I mean, so that Limbus Company would have an inside man in H Corp, and in a place that nobody could possibly contest it, even if he was open about it.
외부인을 앉히는
Would it
것보다
not provide a much more
회사
reasonable,
소속의
reliable
인물을
means to
날개에
control
대표로
plans of an individual company at the
안정적으로
highest
조종할
of
수
wings
있지
instead of letting unaffiliated individual assume it?
일이 그렇게
There's a lot more
간단하게
going on
굴러가지는
behind the scene,
않죠.
guys. Yeah,
그리고
Otis has my back.
LCB는 LCB로서
Besides, the
해야
LCB
하는
still has
일이
much
아직도
left to
많은
do
걸요.
as the LCB.
그러면
Then would I be right to assume this isn't a winner-take-all situation? Do other candidates get something for their participation as well?
가주 심사에서
Anyone who
10등 안에
places
든
within the
사람은
top 10 will gain the right to take
순위
one
순서로
item of their
아무의
choice from the family
창고에서
treasury.
원하는 물건을 하나
Of
가져갈
course,
수
the one who
있는
places
소송을
highest goes
받거든요.
first.
하지만 2등을
But we're gonna have to come at least second place to ensure we obtain the item we're looking for.
아, 괜히
Oh,
기분
now that's weirdly
잡치네.
insulting. Sod it. Why didn't we just shoot
맞을
for the top anyway?
보던
Your
사이에
confidence seems to have gone
자신감이
through the roof since our
어마어마하게
last operation
늘셨군요.
together.
뭐
Well, we did go through a lot of crazy stuff.
그리고
Anyways, care to guess what's deep inside this gargantuan treasury?
황금가지요.
The golden bow.
네?
Right on,
그
buried in the middle of all
진정한
kinds of
가치도
random
모른 채
other
다른
treasures,
고객들 사이에 파묻혀
along
있는
with any
상태랍니다.
knowledge of its true value.
그래서
Yeah, so the good
Faust.
news at the very least is it's
아까
unlikely
소드
any of the
과장이
other
말한
members will be
일차선에서
aware of its
특정이라는
actual
건 뭐지?
value, which means, while we need at least second place, we could be a little further down and it won't be too likely we'll miss out on it. So Faust, what manager did I'll share with you as their strategy for
그러고
round.
보니
I very much wish to know as
파우스트
well,
형에게
for the suggestion of
넌
mutual
짓이
understanding
이해했냐는
seemed to
대로
exist
못 넘어갈
exclusively between Miss Faust
우리에게
and
말하지는
Odd.
않았구려.
가주 심사
Our first
1차전에는
round tests what descendants have prepared and brought for each of the elders. What the descendants have prepared. So this must be what Zishun's been referring to this whole
네.
time. Yes, to be free from aging and death, immortality. Each candidate brings an answer before the judge to demonstrate the idea of true immortality. Right, so what's the answer to true immortality?
파우스트도
I'm afraid not even Faust can answer that. Then what are we even doing here? But we may be able to demonstrate a facsimile, or at least pretend as though we are close to the answer. Given they are the exact ones seeking the answer, they will not disqualify us, Hong Lu to be exact, from the competition.
그럴듯해 보인다면
I see, they'll cling to whatever clue they can get their hands on, so we'll be using that desperation.
그렇습니다.
그
Precisely.
가모인가는 제일 높아
Ah, and
보이는
the whole
사람도
bat
그 녀석을
move
많이
favors him, doesn't
아낀다며.
she? Maybe she'll give him a bonus points or something? Ah, so that's what we'll be using Hong Lu for.
네.
That is,
맞아요.
yes, you're right.
이제
It's
제
my
차례가
turn to be
돌아온 거죠.
used. Oh, when'd you get? Oh, when'd you get back? Hong Lu nonchalantly chimed in on the conversation, having slipped between us unnoticed. Hey, you're back pretty soon, huh? Unfortunately, what Otis just said sounded quite crass, depending on how he cut it. Hong Lu, you don't have to mind what she just said. Well, why would I mind it? I used to be the ticket to participating in the hierarchy war, the only option for obtaining the golden bow within H Corp. He did not say anything wrong. Well, I'm glad Hong Lu is being reasonable about this. Actually, the fact he's been the most reasonable about his Canto so far is really refreshing and also highly suspicious. The more he's okay with all this, the more I think there's definitely something going on here. I mean, sure, at the end, since we have no intention of having him actually win, he could simply drop out at the last minute. It's, in a way, actually fulfilling Zishun's wish of being the top if she manages to live that long. Because don't forget, we can't guarantee her survivor as long as she's not a sinner, so... Well, if you'll be using me, hopefully this will lead to an outcome we can all be happy with.
모두가
Verily, such an
기뻐하기에는
outcome would be best.
충분.
Yet, young Zishun has already exhaled with great gusto over her nostrils before turning away when our party and I met. Well, Zishun, his eyes twinkled briefly as though he was shifting to a dream. I didn't think it was possible for me to be friends with her again. We're back to not being on speaking terms, but it was as though I'd gone back in time, back to when we were both children. But we can't go back to that past. What did you say? Are you drunk or something? Did you always say that to me? What a stupid thing to ask. You've never been drunk in your life. Your mind's always been so damn clear. None of this matters to you, does it? Even when I get angry at you or shout at you, none of it gets to you, does it? Just what happened to you that day? How could someone become so...
됐어, 마음대로 해.
Forget it. I don't care. Do what we want to do. It's my fault for expecting to have at least one normal sibling in this messed up family. That memory, Hong Lu was wearing a quiet smile even before her hushed anger. But don't you want to be friends with her again? At the end of things, those connections between people, those are just moments, ephemeral things. So what I want doesn't really matter. Hong Lu, a sinner so aloof, he's so detached that it feels as though he's always floating through the clouds. I once thought this was just the kind of guy he was, someone who just happened to be above everything happening behind us, instead of just another messed up person with messed up problems of their own. But slowly and gradually, I began to realize there was something off about him under the surface. Hong Lu, about participating in the family hierarch war. Do you really not feel anything? Have you completely excluded yourself from it? I don't, and I have. It's just the way things worked out, right?
관리자님,
Executive Manager, it's true that his value judgment will have no tangible influence on this company's direction.
동의합니다.
Faust is in agreement. Sinners do not have the right to refuse their missions.
존재하지 않으므로.
Yeah, something's definitely up here, given they keep referring to them how they refer to them. I mean, even when we were asked if we saw them as our coworkers, friends, family, or stuff, it turned out that was a trick question. They were all wrong. We have to see them as sinners, which is something else entirely. Yeah. So Alright. So, but they have to know that each golden bow is going to have each one face themselves, face reality, and something like that. So, and of course the sinners are getting stronger. The thing that forces them all to be on the same level doesn't change that we've been slowly getting better at these things as Canto goes by. So what's the point of making everyone down on them? Just see if adversity will make them stronger. It may be true, and yet I find it unnecessary to turn away and neglect the suffering condition of their hearts, stemming from the obligation to their missions. Conditions of our hearts, but perhaps unnecessarily peering into them is how we beget suffering. What manner of... Back then, when I lived here, so many choices passed before my eyes. Should I kill that child who was from a different family? Should I even survive? Should I walk past that dying boy, or stop to help him? When they were first presented to me, I tried to make a choice, but it didn't take long for me to realize my choices meant nothing, so I decided not to choose at all. And that's me, as I am now. Apathy. Not one of the deadly sins, particularly speaking, but I guess you could classify under sloth. But it is absolutely a bad thing. There were so many wonderful things about joining Limbus Company, and I think my favorite part of the experience was that I was never given a choice. Or maybe he doesn't like having to have a choice and would prefer things to be just given to him, orders to follow. I guess some do prefer being given the orders rather than having them, since it removes any complications. Well, that's definitely kind of weird. Oh, looks like things have gotten weirdly quiet around here. That was enough discussion of private matters. There's much ground for us to cover. Let's begin by discussing our plan for the first round. And the next morning, there's still some time until we have to leave. What? There may be the purpose of these scarecrows, veiled in nocturnal shadows they were at yesterday. Oh wow, they're still here. There are training courts next to every building where the children of this place live. Here, every child of walking, running age, all will get to play with these dummies. Play, puff. Early education is important. Oh, Puff is the show that she's taking a puff of her cigarette. Early education is important. Yet how doth one play with these dummies? It appeareth this dummy's adorned with a dashing fashion for its head. Ah, that's the first dummy I received when I was 7. Back then, I thought even dummies could feel pain when struck. Such was the blissful rumination of all those who were once children. So it's like a traditional for kids born here to formally learn how to fight? Oh, not exactly. Ooh, that's what grandmother gifted you, big bro? Yep, I don't know how it works though. Must be a doll or effigy. Perhaps you could adorn it with trinkets? Maybe it's got like a guardian spirit that protects your house. Oh boy. Here, let me show you how it's done. Why'd you punch grandma's gift? Don't you think you're hurting it? Oh no, this wooden thing? It's more they have to grow up this way if they want to survive. Oh yeah, that isn't massively ominous. This WTD isn't so bad. This wooden training dummy appears to have been designed and crafted with some precise engineering craftsmanship. We still have time until departure. Why don't we try using them as a warm-up? I don't want to get all sweaty, though. Oh, it's not like these things will pose us any danger. I think we can try them out once, see how we're doing it. Attention, we have orders. From this moment forth, we'll pour into laying out a ruin of these training dummies. Hey, I didn't even give an order. Oh well, it won't hurt to get our blood pumping. All forces charge. Circular roundhouse, circular point strike. Looks like these focus on decreasing our offense. So basically, all it does... So yeah, they weaken us, but they're not really a threat. That makes sense. Kinda neat. Okay, so the training dummies fight back specifically for the purposes of training to make sure the children will survive. Incoming. Prepare for battle, everyone. Oh dear, Honolulu lost that. That's gonna be a bit of a pain. Oh, Merceau wasn't much luckier either. Decision.
코이.
Well, I suppose I can't say no to something that's giving me free, lunacy for the
운이
fight.
따라준다면 좋겠네요.
ドクターのように優れた式ですね
물론고
Even dummies can be staggered, apparently.
このままいけば敵を食い止められます
그쪽 방향이 아닐 텐데.
코이 코이.
Alright, is this going to be my, training for the next one? I have noticed that the XP,
대보겠네
yeah, like the last one unlocked the haunted house. Boom, boom, boom.
좋아. 코이 코이.
Two. Buckle my shoe. Bandaged wooden dummy.
그렇게 하죠.
사물.
대상 사망 징수 진행 불가
With your former so.
됐나봐.
운이 따라준다면 좋겠네요.
사물. 우리는 완전히 멈췄다. 생각한 시간은 전부 징수했으니 상관없지.
물론고 그쪽 방향이 아닐 텐데.
Victory.
도박장죄로 의뢰를 냈다 싶더니 이렇게나 밑장 빼는 놈들이 한가득일 줄이야. 아,
Training yard.
한 달은
정리 시간이다.
Going to combat directly, I see. Not a problem, I suppose.
대보겠네
사물.
형 예상 못했나봐.
재밌네요.
Shank.
일기당천.
시간이
適した攻撃でなくとも最善の選択だったはずです
Of course. Wow, it survived with actual 1 HP. That's amazing. 5 HP. Wow, these training dummies love to survive.
일기당천.
Yeah, I might want to seriously look into maxing out Merceau to get his
물론고
flash power as high as I can get it.
제쳐라.
Granted, for these battles, it's not a huge deal, but it is relevant. I don't believe I have any healing on this team since I'm not bringing Faust, and even then, the healing's not great. I guess since I'm actually using Marceau now, I should seriously look into his healing ego. He can heal anyone except himself, but if need be, I can always have him defend, I suppose.
나가리판이네. 다음. 올인이었나요?
Oh darn, I was hoping it'd hit the stagger threshold. Yeah, these things are pretty tanky with such a low stagger threshold. Or I guess a rather high one. The point of the stagger hold is there's only
당신 짝패들요.
그쪽 방향이 아닐 텐데. 그쪽 방향이 아닐 텐데.
대상 사망. 징수 진행. 아직 징수할 내역이
I must say, it's rather amusing. Dawn is one of my most well-invested sinners, and at the same time, the game liked to take her from me for so long. Ah well. Now that our Canto's done, at least for now.
너무 쉽군요.
I mean, it's most likely that everyone's going to be getting a second Canto, since it hasn't escaped my notice that every story so far has left at least some level of loose ends.
정당한 공무 집행입니다. 사물. 엠화.
삼코.
물 넘고.
가속. 최대전. 집행한다. 연애. 대상 사망. 징수 진행 불가.
Excellent. Refreshing. Ooh, guess morning workouts when we wake up.
큰일 있기 전에
I've gotten used to
시비나
getting
걸리고
tussles before we get to the real main of the missions that mornings feel incomplete without some action. Nevertheless, this is a meaningful, warm-up activity, and I appreciate the free lunacy out of it too. So I've been meaning to ask Honglu, why did you never consider participating in the Hierarch War before? It seems to me that all your other siblings have been waiting and training all their lives for this event.
단순해요.
Oh, it's simple.
가주가 되고
Because I never
싶다고
once
생각한
thought
적은
I wanted to be the
한 번도
family hierarch.
없었으니까요.
정말
Is it not truly
목을 물고
Have you not been born with
태어나지
Had you not been born with the jade, my son, you would have to toil all your life, preparing for the final hierarch war like all your siblings do. You needn't waste your strength on those things. Win the favor of the elders and be venerated with their blessings. Simply witness as much of the world as is offered, jade of our family, my precious son. More memories. What's wrong, Song? You seem kind of strong. It's to do with the plan Miss Faust explained to us last night. I find the plan very detestable. Me too. But Honglu said he's okay with it, but can we even call it a plan if we're being honest here? It matches the definition of a plan, given it illustrates instructions we follow with the purpose of achieving a defined goal. And please remember that there are no second chances in this war. Yeah, we only get one shot at this, so we can't blow it. Can't load a save game after all.
도박장죄로 의뢰를 냈다 싶더니 이렇게나 밑장 빼는 놈들이 한가득일 줄이야.
To be free from aging and death.
한
This is
달은
pure
의뢰
talk,
없이 놀아도
so
되겠는데요?
we only hope it goes well. Young master and his whole companions arriving at the elevated Veracent Jade Hall. Right, since they're all a bunch of old folks, of course they'd be obsessed with immortality. Just to make sure they don't... Just to hope that theirs will... Hope that they can stave off death, even if just for longer. I suppose in a way I can't blame them. As always, the servant by the gate announced our arrival with a resounding holler we'd been grown expecting. arena or stadium, I see. We have many eyes upon us, executive manager. I looked up at the audience seats were brimming with people, divided into stair-like terraces. On the platform on the opposite end, 3 shadows of chairs could be seen cast upon the obscuring fabric. As for us, we followed the attendance guidance and stood next to the other participants in the circular area. So the evaluations happen behind those curtains? Gaio? Do you recognize?
아니요.
No, it's nothing,
괜찮아요. 다시
Dante.
만나도
Even if we were to meet again, we
마땅히
wouldn't
할
have
이야기가
anything to
없거든요.
talk about anyways.
인연이 있다면
Maybe we'll have another chance if later fate would.
시작하나 보네요.
Oh, I think it's finally getting started. The curtain swings open, and the old woman we saw from yesterday's banquets walked out on the platform.
나는
Many scores ago, I
운이
ascended the seat
따라줘.
with the stroke of
오래전
fortune.
가모의 자리에
Yet a lifetime has
올랐지만은
passed since I've assumed this great responsibility.
장관
Such as it
세월이
is, I seek to
지나 이제는 이
abdicate
자리를
and walk
내려놓고
the path of mountains
산하를
and streams as a river
흘러다니려
does.
그리하여
With the seat voided, the
앉았던
responsibility
자리는
seeks the
공석이
one with the
될진저
qualities of the family
자격을
to
갖춘
fill
자는
it.
일카씨,
Thus here at Dangya,
설씨,
Dangyeon,
왕씨,
the collective upheld by the
사씨가의
pillars of the 4 great
기둥들로 이루어진
houses.
이 대관원에 우리가
We
하루도 잊지
once
않고
again ask you the
추구하던
perennial
하나의
question, have you
그대들은
all brought us
전력을
ought to
다하여
prove an answer,
찾아왔을
that an
것이라
answer indeed
믿는다.
exists? Who's the woman next to her?
제
She's
첫째
my
누나인
oldest sister,
원춘
Big Sis
누나예요.
Yoshon.
큐사에 아주
She married a
높으신
very
분과
important
혼례를
person at
치르러
Q Corp and spends most of her time
큐사에서
there.
지내시다가
Looks like she's
발걸음을
visiting for this
하셨나
particular
보네요.
event.
비록 다른
Though I've
둥지에
long
머물고
resided in a
있던
foreign nest, I
몸이지만
now return
고르게
fleetingly to
참을
share the love with my
전력의
flesh and
지성을
blood.
다할 수 있도록
Fulfill my duties
잠시
as observed by the
자리하였으니
order of filial piety.
최선을 다해
I
진리를
return that the truth
살피겠노라.
may be observed to the best of my abilities.
누군가는
Some of you
순조롭게
may have walked the laid path
누군가는
gentle of your feet.
천만고비
Some may have
끝에
struggled
이
through an
해답을
unlaid,
가져왔을 터.
brutal path of cragged mountains, thousandfold to find your
하지만
answers.
1차 심사의 기회는 단 한 번.
Yet, regardless of the severity of your suffering, all of you equally have but one opportunity this first
그럼에도
round.
그대들은
Even still, you are
모두
all once
이곳
prospective heirs of a
대관원의
great house.
후계자들이었으며
Even your failures shall bring power and
탈락마저도
prosperity.
대관원의 부흥이 이제부터
Now come
호명하는
forth in the order you are
순서대로 나와
summoned and demonstrate the
불로,
invaluable answers, the
불사,
question of 3
장생의
freedoms. One from
진귀한
aging,
해답을
one from death,
시연하거라.
one from the brevity of life.
시연이
The nature of your
불가하다면
answer shall be
거짓 없는 증거를 내보여야
indemonstrable.
한다.
Present, if the nature is indemonstrable, present ironclad proof.
놓치지 말고
Lose not and
버리지
discard
말고.
not. Yet lest
젊음은 영원 무궁하리라.
fresh youth be unending and eternal. After the respective speeches, Peshwan and Mu disappear by the curtains.
첫 번째
First candidate, it appears Honglu's father assumed the role as host for the first round.
왕씨
Ren of the
가문의
Young family. Ren, first to be summoned, walked up. Behind him was his faction dragging someone with a rope.
빨리 와라.
Be a
멍청한
foolish
것.
thing.
누구를 데려가는
What,
거죠?
who are they dragging up on the stage?
움직이면
Whoever it is, they very clearly do not want to be there.
불로불사
Be free from aging and death, huh?
태어날
I suppose
때
every
주어진
wing dreams of
몸뚱아리
escaping and
이상의
rising
한계로
beyond the body they were born with.
지목을 어느 날개나 가지고 있는
H Corp's pursuit of
수건인가 봐.
immortality probably isn't special in that regard.
홍원의 불로불사도 그런 맥락.
소자.
What's a blood bag? That's when we were finally able to recognize who the candidate was on stage. The eyes were on focus in red, the mouth sick and drool, dribbling with a mouth guard, meaningless snarling. That's a mindless blood bag.
귀가
What does a blood fiend become an answer to
일반
immortality?
사람들의 시선에서는
In a layman's eyes, a blood fiends
불과
appear to have
가깝게
truly
느껴질 수도
attained freedom from aging.
저희는 이미 알고
However, as we
있다시피
are now all aware,
달빛
blood
또한
fiends can
피를
grow old and
섭취하지
weak after a very prolonged
늙고 쇠약해집니다.
period of blood deprivation.
짐작컨대
Thus, it is unlikely to
저들이
provide the
원하는
answer they
답변은
seek.
한참 멀 것이.
After some struggle, the blood bag was kicking and growling past the curtains. That creature's a fabled blood fiend?
그걸로 되겠나?
I doubt that'll do the job. Blood fiends are quite esoteric knowledge, but to the judge of this contest, I doubt there'll be anything more than lukewarm trivia.
퍽이나
That young kid
절박했나
must have been very desperate, huh? He's either lazy as balls or ain't right upstairs. It appears knowledge of blood fiends is oddly common among this folk of this ilk.
본래 혈기는
The blood fiends are present in every nest. 'Tis a little surprised that those privy to arcane knowledge ought well aware of their existence. I guess all that matters now is we keep them from knowing that Dawn is one, I suppose. Can't believe for once I'm glad that Limbus is good at its own company's secrets. Although that's more because it's keeping from our enemies rather than from us this time. After a brief moment lasted less than a minute, Young and his faction emerged behind the curtains.
심사하고
Hand at the family, stand up on the podium and await your judgment. Then they ascend to the round podium, thus announcing the results from round 1. Elimination. No! All they need is blood. As long as it's violent with blood, they'll eternal and everlasting. Venerable Gypsy.
아니,
Nay, what awaits them is no eternity at all. Verily, I know not the shape of this true immortality the evaluation seeks to obtain, yet the longevity of blood fiends, shackled by blood and endless suffering, is unlikely to be the one what they are after. Those damn hunters told me they still retain their memories. To become a blood fiend is to surrender all desires and emotions that exist within thy being for a singular hunger for blood and only blood. Perhaps that is acceptable condition for those who expect nothing but fathomless torment the rest of their lives. Yet for those with much to lose, with much in life that they cling to, as those present seem to be, the fate of a blood fiend is no freedom from aging and death. 'Tis but a sanguine shackle to enslave their minds. A member of Bao's factions gave an excellent reply. No further elaborations necessary. And you failed to bring us a high kindred, let alone a blood fiend at all. This creature is but a miserable blood bag. I cannot well commend your efforts. Here, Ren. They have spoken, and mercifully given you the full explanation of your mistake, a privilege that failed candidates do not deserve. Let this be the blessing of your final blessing of your life. Podium swings under and casting Bloodbag the depths with a blood-curdling screech. So that's what happens if you fail to pass.
이거 그냥
That's just for dramatic effect, Drake. There's a side path leading back, right? Of course not. Can't you smell the stench of festering pain, like rising heat from the depths? Yoshu, you've been holding your sense of humor. Those are pretty nasty jokes, though. Where's the whole lead? Judging from the time between the drop and the sound of the fall, I presume it goes quite far down. It probably leads to a place of lots of old family secrets. Oh, not treasures, of course. But trying to figure that out might get you a visit from the Hay Show. Probably. Oh, they went all out in the theatrics, huh? Yeah, you know what? I don't blame Honglu for not wanting to be part of all this nonsense. Especially if the losing means death, but given the top 10 are allowed to join, at the very least the top 10 have to be alive, because they can't just kill everyone who's not the absolute winner, or else there'd be no point in having a second place onward, you know? Although I suppose they might feel confident doing that, because any death they give Honglu, we can undo immediately. As long as they don't have a contingency for that, it should be fine, but it's hard to say. Like, a lot of fiction likes to present it that if you execute someone and then they get resurrected in some fashion, they're now free of all crimes because their sentence has already been carried out. Yeah, no, that's not how that works. There is, in fact, a rule in place where if someone is slated for execution, at least in the US, if anyone's set for an execution and they somehow come back to life afterward, they are simply set for execution again. So I guess the goal is just keep trying until it sticks. Now, how many places still have that penalty is up for debate, but point is, I know a lot of weird random facts. They went all out in the theatrics. Yeah, and we could very well be the ones screaming and falling down the hole later. Next candidate was summoned before we could even shake off the initial shock. Second candidate from your family. We sat through a few more names and failures. We couldn't hear exactly what they were talking about, unlike the very loud and obvious blood bag, and the answers they brought were less obvious, so all we had to go on were the shadows of their desperate attempts to explain things before the judges. Another one? Boring as hell. The longer we watched the death toll rise, the less shocking they became. Are they planning to fail everyone? 8th candidate, Bao Chai. Oh my, look, we know her. She was technically our competition, but it seems she managed to give the sinners quite a positive impression yesterday's brief encounter. Some were even cheering her on. We could see exactly what it was she brought. She was also holding something she entered the curtains. After a brief meeting, which going the shadows cast on curtains, appeared to have gone better than what she'd expected, she had emerged. And as soon as she did, she immediately turned our direction, at Honglu to be exact. Oh, Bao, you watching me? She began waving her hand. She passes. Podium beneath her slammed shut. Podium beneath her remained shut. Passing connection though it may have been, yet I ill wish to see a familiar face claimed by the abyss. Thus I am glad. Thing is, they want immortality, but that's obviously not actually possible, so what's the gimmick? 17th candidate, Zishun of the Jia family. It's her turn. She bows unaccompanied. She held her hands tightly in a gourd bottle. Looks like she found it. Found the water from the river we saw Don Quixote's memories back then. Impossible. She reached the Lithi.
정말 그곳에 도달했을
Possibility she
가능성은
actually reached there in person is infinitely minuscule.
물론 천문학적
There's an
확률을
infinitesimal
뚫고서
statistical
그
possibility she
강까지
could have,
도달했을
yet
확률까지
not even Faust can
보장하진
conceive how
않습니다만
someone of their capabilities could reach a fountainhead,
자들의
one of the deepest
역량으로
fathoms.
이 짧은
This is even
시간
more
동안
impossible when considering the
가장
relatively
깊은
short
곳 중
passage of
한
time
곳의
since then and
원리에
now.
도달하는 것은 모종의 방법을
More
통해
likely explanation is she obtained the waters by collecting its dew or a portion that has seeped out. Last, the river's water
근데
serveth only
그
put one's
강물은
slumber, one's
기억을 깊게
memories.
채워서
Hey, doth it
지워질
truly hold a
뿐이죠.
link to immortality they seek?
아마도
Yes,
저들이 원하던
it's likely
정신의
closely
불사와
connected to the immortality of the
밀접한
mind they
관계가 그
pursue.
정보를 알고
As
있는
there are but an
이들
extremely
국소수인
small number of
만큼
people privy to the knowledge of the
저 강에
rivers,
담긴
if the
것이
contents of that bottle is genuine, Faust expects her to
Faust이요.
pass.
가시
The Shun passes.
걸 얻어왔구나.
We brought before us a priceless treasure. It must be taken an unparalleled efforts to obtain this, given the meager size of your clan.
감사합니다.
Thank you, big sister. As Faust expected, all three of the judges appeared quite satisfied by what the Zishun brought before them. It may only be a fragment of the river or Dawn drank from, but I guess it still was enough to satisfy them, especially since it should theoretically have been impossible. N-Corp. Oh no, not these bastards again. Look at that. I'm actually really close to that thanks to my hard work
이
since before.
경로는 숨어들기 나쁘지 않군 거래. 그 다음
Next, 18th candidates. What the hell? How many people in this
가시 가문에
One of the GF family. Our first meeting with that man was less than amicable, and I had a strong feeling that another one wasn't going to do anything to improve that. He walked up to the platform. We all fell silent, hearing a familiar name. Bastard. I could feel some sinners growing tense, some of them even gritting their teeth. The other man closely following, holding what looked like an egg of abnormality and a familiar face. How many times? I've seen him many times in Sang memories. Dante, what do you think they're wearing? Ego gears. It can be speculated they either develop their own method of extraction or scavenge them from Lobotomy Corp. Kubo carries what appears to be an egg of an abnormality.
그대로
Are they planning to just offer the abnormality egg? How's that even an answer to anything?
해석의 여지에
Well, there is
달렸지만
room for
한
interpretation.
상체 역시
Some may present a reasonably argued interpretation that abnormalities are entities that neighbor immortality.
어떤
The implication of their
환상체의
success
아닌지가
hinges on which abnormality's egg that ends up being.
하지만 제가 아는 가완
It's Big
형이라면
Brother Juan.
실패할
If it's the
거라고
Big Brother Juan
생각되는
I know, he's never going to
절대
risk his
목숨을
life
걸지
for
않을
something he
거예요.
thinks will fail. Juan passes the first evaluation. Contrary to most of our wishes, he managed to pass the first round as well. Many more candidates came and went. Some carried a massive, mysterious coffin. One of them brought a thick book. One was presenting a cage so tiny we couldn't see what was in. Some of them passed, while some were sent screaming to the abyss. As we waited, we watched the candidates, people from N Corp, turn complete, turn toward us. Yet early it is for twilight to arrive. Thus early too is this meeting of ours. As if to prove his own words back at the LCE that he's come to accept certain things they are, Yisang coolly regarded his old friend who is now working with N Corp.
알량하고
You must,
앙상한 새
Kubo,
쉼터가
must find the
꼭
small
자네
and barren
마음에 든 모양이야.
respite of yours quite enjoyable.
그리로 가는 건
I have not seen you
구이내가
jest as
무너진
you
뒤에 처음 보는 것
now
같으니.
since the league fell.
어쩐
For what you do now approach me, the rift is too great betwixt us to chatter on any affection to speak of.
내가 보자고 한 건 아니니 오해는
In Corp
마시고.
New League at the time. Do
내
not mistake my intent,
팀메이트가
for it wasn't
제가
I
그
who desired to
얼굴을
approach you.
한번
My
보고
teammate
싶어
wished to have a look at his brother's
겸사겸사
face,
들린 것뿐이니
and thought I might as well see how you're faring.
가주대전이 열리니
Looks like everything's coming
모두들
back now that
기본으로 돌아오는구나.
everyone's coming back now that the family war
그날
started.
이후로는 처음 보네.
Brother, this is our first meeting since then, yes? Ha! If it isn't the doltest
세상
fool whose
물정엔
has eyes
청맹관이처럼
but knows
어둡고
not how to
가주라면
see. I
칠색팔색을
know you
하던
well enough.
네가
You'd normally turn purple with the aversion
여긴
upon hearing
왜
even a brief
올라온
mention of the word Herrick. So why are you
저
here?
냄새나는
Who are you
것들이다.
and your entourage working for this time?
네 역겨운
Is it
속을
Zhu
모르고
girl blinded
겉에만을
by your
쫓아다니는
looks with the revolting rot within? Or is it Shun who still defends you and your meaningless
아직도
foe
그 시절을 잊지
who
못하고
spiel, deluding her belief you're still the same boy from her childhood?
널 싸고도는 시
Why didn't you save him? No, let me ask you a different question.
왜
Why did you
그애만
save her and
쓰는
only
것이야?
her, Bayu?
형,
Brother,
사람은
humans die, it's what they're born to do.
다음 심사가
Next candidates will be
시작됩니다.
judged soon. Candidates must return to their
참가자분들은 자리로
seats.
돌아가 주십시오.
You're a servant, you're barely even a living thing.
돌아가지.
Let us return. This
그렇대야 더
discourse will
이어갈
not bear
대화는
us any fruit. What's this? A reunion party? Oh, that showed sour things. Those shameless bastards. It's obvious they're there to nick our things again. Maybe, but something feels different today.
태도가 묘하긴 했는데.
Smash. As in smash or past smash, or smash as in he needs his face smashed in.
어느 쪽이 든
Whatever's the case, a safer option would be a place higher than them. Another one falls.
지켜보고 있는 사람들
His
중에서
family has to be watching,
저
right?
사람의 가족들도
I
있을
wonder if
텐데
they'll be okay.
괜찮은 걸까요?
Both is good. You know what? That is completely fair. Sinclair mutters, watching another candidate fall down the trapdoor.
보고 있다면
Can't imagine anyone would be okay watching their own
마음이
fall
정말
like that.
좋지 않을
Sinclair, the people behind us. They're his parents, the guy who just fell. We raised that failure as our own son? What a disappointment. Don't worry, I had faith in our third. I mean, it's not like we expected anything from this one, right?
가주가
I see what
되기만
that
위해
means, dedicate your
살아온
whole life to becoming the family hierarch.
것까지 포함하는 이야기였네요. 많은 분들이
Many
가주가
people
되는
desperately
걸
vie for the
간절히
seat. Of
바란답니다.
course, some of them, like his parents,
물론
hope
자신과
to
친하거나
have their friend or
피로
close
이어진
blood
누군가
relative
가주가
become
되는
the
걸
hierarch
바라시는
instead.
분도 있지만
직접
So
가주가
they
되지
seek to
않다.
seize a lifetime worth of riches, power, and recognition by planting someone they can control in the seat, rather than becoming one themselves.
그렇게 만든 건
That kind's got a low shelf life. Yeah, you'd be surprised how many people rearrange their friends and loved ones after great power like that. As they say, absolute power corrupts absolutely.
이런 뜻하지 않은
Looks like I finally got to know how my long-lost siblings are doing thanks to this unforeseen opportunity. 27th candidate, Pan, the Zhou family. Oh my. Pan? Have we heard that name before? Ah, he's Big Sis, Bao Chai's older brother. He walked up the platform holding what appeared to be a large jar with multiple talismans plastered. Hey, is it just me or does that guy look like he's totally up to
여기 안
something?
그런 사람이 어디
Let's
있어?
be honest, who here doesn't? You know, that's a really good point, Ishmael. Oh yeah, but this salt's different. He's, instead of ascending the platform and into the curtains, he walked up to the podium. It looks like he's completely lost the plot.
참가자 설반.
Candid Pan, you will ascend the platform and enter the current threshold.
거든 길이
Where's the fun in
아니야.
walking down the
재미를
straightforward
좋은
road?
구경은 다
It's only right
같이
something so
하는 게
precious and entertaining to be shared with
실망하지
everyone. Wouldn't you agree? He places the jar on the ground and from within a decision. Oh, a zombie emerges. Pathetic sorceress trickery. Ryoshu murdered a palpable distaste. Why is he? What the heck's that? Corpses. As their desecrated flesh covered in light, sparse layer of old papers crawled out of the jar and began to shamble. They're neither distortions nor abnormalities. Their behavior reminds me of the blood bags, subhuman entities enslaved by the abnormalities. Any semblance of consciousness has been stripped away from them. They'll attack indiscriminately, but it seems they're just intent on maiming and killing whatever. Whoever they get their claws on. Executive Manager, we must prepare for battle. Your orders. Ooh. Jar monster set upon the audience, stuffing the struggling, still breathing victims in their jars. Why aren't the organizers doing anything? It's still an event hosted by the Wing, isn't it? Because there isn't a rule in the war that prohibits bringing harm to other people. So they're just gonna sit back and twirl their thumbs because no one specifically said to step in. What the hell? What do we do now? Should we step in? We should probably survive and ensure our safe participation first. What the hell are these? Get away from me! As the monsters began to swarm in, some candidates scattered and ran away, while some stood their ground and fought back. Those who did neither were the ones getting slaughtered. It was simultaneously reminded of Sod and the confident smile she flashed at me as she assured us we should be able to pass the first round with little to no trouble. Looks like we have no choice but take him down. What's that Grit from Advance Wars quote? Reckon it's time to take you down. Talisman Jar Monster. Monster from the gorged and devoured jar of loneliness.
운이 따라준다면 좋겠네요.
I want to say that, complain that Ting Tang Honglu is very heavily dependent on his rolls, but I mean, which sinner isn't, you know? Even Mao Faust struggles if she never wins a single coin roll. Latching on. Of course, this prick has an unbreakable coin. Manager, please confirm the singer's statuses. Yeah, they're taking some unavoidable damage now. Not much we can do about that, but we should be fine. The fact I'm actually allowed a backup squad means I can afford to lose a sinner even though I don't have any healing. So since I don't have any healing, I can afford to lose a sinner if I have to. Preferably, I'd rather not do that, but I won't be able to do much about that until I get Perceau's healing ego. Once I do, it'll be a lot easier. And then hope there's never another... Oh, or if there is another Arknights collab, that the one he gets is, if he gets one, that it's not on the same slot. Alright, go. Oh dear, I should probably do it this way. There we go. Dawn heal. I can't forget Dawn has a self-healing ego, a damn good one. I up-tie forward it, so you're getting a 50% heal no matter what. Well, it's still important that I win these unbreakable coin clashes because that does genuinely reduce the damage taken.
効果的な攻撃でした。
One, two.
ダンテさんの出現
One,
とても
two.
効果的で
Buckle
した。
3, 4. Shut the door. 5, 6. Pick up sticks. I don't know why I'm doing this. It just felt appropriate. Ain't tearing off anything, buddy. Dawn, work your magic.
루시한테 꿈에 닿을 때까지 몇 번이고.
Again and again until the dream is in. I do like how all the sinners have their lines changed based on whether or not they've had their Canto or not. Could even happen again if everyone gets another Canto later. Oh, that's 50% damage dealt, not the 50% of max. That's a little disappointing, but I mean, I have the materials for it. Why not? Here we are. Gonna have to use Merceau's ego to make sure he wins that clash, because winning these clashes is absolutely essential. The chains of others. Multitude tiny.
완전히 멈춘. 좋아. 거의 전부 징수했으니 상관없지. 진짜 루시한테 꿈에 닿을 때까지 몇 번이고.
Nice the base egos retain some pretty good value. I know most will swap out Gregor's, but I don't have his alternate to test it. Better for worse. Or Merceau.
운이 따라준다면 좋겠네요.
열어젖히고
이러네.
Excellent.
대상 사망. 징수 진행 불가. 완전히 멈춘. 차라리 시간은 전부 징수했으니 상관없지.
우리는
Guess it's a good thing we had that warm up this morning. Sheesh. I still don't regret the uptie 4 on Dawn's, if only because guaranteeing that healing is still kind
도박장자로 의뢰를 냈다
nice.
싶더니 이렇게나 밑장 빼는 놈들이
The
한가득일 줄이야.
thumb.
아, 한 달은 의뢰 없이 놀아도 되겠는데요? 사무소 놓았네.
이 경로는 숨어들기 나쁘지 않군 그래.
Yeah, this might be it, I wonder. The struggling Dawn. Guess I'll have to do it this way.
일기당천.
최대전.
Technically, if I stun them, the thing won't come off. What's this? Fine.
좋아. 거의 거의.
Thank you for the raid, everyone. Oh, you're playing Limbus Company. Hope you had a good time. Welcome, welcome. I'm Luce, your resident legally distinct Fey creature here. I am just in the middle of early parts of Canto 8. Yeah, this should be fine. So be warned, if you're not at the Canto 8 or higher yet, there's gonna be spoilers.
안테님 봤어요?
Yeah, it's getting a bit more of a desperate sound
調
here.
子が悪くなっているみたいです
I don't think they're doing too good.
정당한
The
공고지.
former So has been taking a beating. Good, loved it. Ah, nice. Hopefully I'll have some fun with it.
3월.
물론고 꺾고 제쳐라.
ドクターのように
As you can see,
優れた式ですね
my team's a bit of random bullshit ghost. I only joined a few months ago, but I think I've got a reasonably good tremor team going on here. There we go. Nice work, Marceau.
시간이
안테님
Gave him the
봤어요?
bonks.
敵は深手を負っています
Okay, good. No one's focusing Otis. Yeah, what a pain.
당신 짝패군요.
No crap, that's bad. Shit. Breakable coins are so frustrating, but I get why they exist. Without it, defensive and healing stuff actually matters. Without it, with the breakable coins, defense buffs and healing stuff actually matters, whereas before it's
3월.
just win clashes, lols.
適した攻撃でなくても
Or whatever that
最善
emote
の選択だった
would
ん
be
です
fitting, I don't know. Starting to get kind of tired, and my drink's starting to run low, so I might have to call it a little soon. But at least we have a pretty good, exciting start, that's for sure. Thankfully, Hongwoo's got a reasonably good shot of winning that. Oh, dang! Lucky me. Ow, 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 ow. We lost Gregor. Neutral. Let's fix that, shall we? Dominating. Dominating. There we are. Let's make sure this works. Mirror Dungeon got soft locked. Oh dear. Now I'm curious about what happened. I'll probably mess with Mirror Dungeon solos or endless after I've done with the main story, just to work things out a bit. There we go. Staggered him. That's good. Only a 9 heal, but it's better than nothing. If nothing else, T-Corp Dawn is very, very good at taking hits, so she can handle residual damage. So, ow, he almost got double staggered, wow. That would have made massive damage. Oh, okay, never mind, we got hit by that. We might actually lose him at this rate. That red is a lot of damage. Back weight. We'll do it this way then. Sang, use your ego here just to make sure that you're no longer struggling. Dominating. It's always nice seeing a struggle go to dominate like that.
이상이 무엇이라 생각하시오?
Unfortunately, Otis will be staggered if that's an unbreakable bar. I don't.
벌써 버벅이나?
Okay, no, it doesn't matter. Oh darn. Oh no, she did get staggered. Nice.
바람 불어오는 대로 짓밟아라.
I'd say Hanafuda Ishmael is probably my favorite. I do have Knight Rodian from the Walpurgis, and I do think she's probably technically my strongest ID in the individual sense, but I'd still say Hanafuda Ishmael is my ace unit. My ace ID.
슬픔에 흔들린 마음에서 이렇게 터져버리죠.
이러네. 대상
Go.
사망. 징수 진행 불가.
Soloing with Knight Rodian. Ah. Given she can have both, she can easily swap between defense and offense. See why that versatility would make her good for a solo. I know Hanafuda Ishmael can also solo it, but you have to get lucky and be able to change all of her attacks into her third skill, to my understanding. But that is pretty good if you can, so that basically means she gets a free attack every 2 turns. That's gonna add up. Especially since her damage is already quite good on its own. But remain inside the hall after the battle was devastating. Many of the audience seats fled as the seats were once brimming with people and only half filled. And the candidate zone down here is littered with the bodies of candidates who were mauled to death. Yeah, with a lot of characters, most characters need to do that. Yeah, but for Hanafuda Ishmael, you especially need that because it jacks up how quickly her purple cards, her bright cards get charged, which is essential for getting her bonus attacks. But yeah, the third skill I've seen some call the third skill their ultimate, and I can see why, since that's usually the keystone of their whole kit. Meanwhile, the jar monsters, having eaten their fill, had already crawled back to the jars. I looked around and saw some holding tightly the other treasures they hadn't brought to the chest, even though as they drew their last breaths. In the midst of this destruction stood the cause of the chaos, watching the slaughter pay out with assured confidence. Let me guess, because he's got a unique portrait, he automatically succeeds the first one. How will you attain freedom from aging? How will you freedom from death with mind so dull and body so frail? What you say, judges? I present you not only the clue to immortality, but also a treasure that brings ruin to those who dare deceive you. Here's my answer to perennial question. You brought us the clay of the jar. It can be said those who fail to survive this do not qualify as the candidates, yes? He passes. He gets a pass when he almost got everyone here killed. All that matters is that he brought something that meets their standards. Looks like he managed to get 2 birds with 1 stone. He eliminated the distracting rabble from the competition. If whoever wanted that bastard in round 2, you better let me take more than a few swings at him. 28th candidate, Daizen from the Shi family, but no one walked up on the... As he has failed to appear, he is eliminated by default. Oh, thanks for the follow. I stream just about anything here, so feel free to stop by anytime something catches your eye. Oh yeah, hydration, that's actually a good idea. Seems my drink is getting a little low though, so maybe a good sign to call it after a time, but not quite yet. And yeah, I do realize competitions like this are in general a biggest asshole wins sort of thing, so... one moment. So yeah, I knew obviously the biggest assholes would make it through here. It brings me very frustrating memories of those reality shows where the worst kinds of people, well, the people designated as the heel, the ones who are the biggest assholes, always make it to near the end of the final rounds to ensure there's a clear heel and face, to use the wrestling term. people to root for, people to root against, all that sort of thing, since that drives up engagement. How many of them were actually acting that way because they wanted to or because they were told to is hard to say. I'm not going to say all reality shows were faked, but there were some that pushed the story in a certain direction, if you get what I mean. And as he's failed to appear, he's eliminated. He called out a few more names, but 29th candidate, 30th candidate, the number of candidates has certainly been called, but none appeared. Disappointingly, yeah, all the mediocre bunch got wiped out in that attack, and the leftovers are exhausted. Ryoshi looked around as though she was doing some kind of critique. That lug. That mother. I'll be. I thought you'd gone and vanished into the earth. What the hell you doing crawling around here? Girl, I saw you giving me the evil eye. At least have the decency to say hi, eh? Ryoshi, that guy's talking to you, right? Ha. In a very rare display of raw emotion, I realized she was anxious and furious. Do you know him? What an absolute unit. Bloke's gotta be at least 2 meters tall. No, do not look at that man, Dante. Everyone, avert your eyes as well. It's strongly recommended we do not say a word to him. That's right, you shrimps. First gotta rack them teensy brains of yours. Think real hard about whether or you even come close to my rank for running your mouths, yeah? That shit. The fang. He's a finger. Thumb is a syndicate with the strictest adherence to a rigid hierarchical structure, even among the fingers. And his placement is the highest even among the other capos. His rank is immediately beneath the position of Soto Capo, or the underboss. Small mistake could drag us into a battle we do not wish to fight. Please order everyone not to say a word, Dante. I don't know what's going on, but I get it. You're saying we're this close to having another Ricardo hunting us down, right? Yeah, let's avoid that. Do as Faust asks, everyone. He began stomping his way through the crowd towards us, casually but forcefully shoving anyone his way to the sides. His gait was blasé and brutish, but I noticed his eyes were fixated intently on Ryoshu. It seemed that among the crowd were some people with higher positions as well, but even they averted their eyes or voluntarily got out of his way. He marched confidently through the frozen crowd as though he was familiar with this kind of reception until a cry rang out. Big brute, how dare you block Master Sending's view? I'll have you know the stand full retinue of the Nangong family, a house that shall soon be one of the 4 houses. Instead of a reply, we heard a blast of gunpowder and then saw the right arm of the person who spoke out catapult the air. Ah! Man, he was just instantly disarmed. I'm sorry, that was horrible. The scream muffled as he forcibly shoved his giant hand down the man's throat. Then, with the sound of meat being pulled apart, he ripped the entire length of the man's tongue out through the mouth. Young master, eh? You owe me an arm now. Mighty sorry. But you should have kept a tighter leash on that boy's John. Young master of some prestigious house presented his right hand as though clear he was utterly terrified. He proceeded to grab it and break forearm, snapping it off like a twig. I went easy on ya. Seeing a friendly face put me in a good mood. Anywho, I don't reckon you missed the house of spiders. I can't imagine why anyone would. Gives me the heebie-jeebies too. Whenever I get close enough to, whenever I gotta swing by. Got some catching up to do later. I'll teach you how to hold your sword real good, like way back when. Weren't mine the best out of them all? Thought I taught you how to make every cut real delicious. Ryoshu, now is not yet the time. Faust whispered to Ryoshu in a low voice without raising her head. Shut up for a damn second. Faust trusts you still remember the promise you made prior to your employment. Get that stick out of you behind, kiddo. I ain't here to pick you up. I sure as hell ain't trying to teach you a lesson either, like back then. Your baby's still at the house, right? Ain't that right? Ryoshu was grabbing the hilt of her sword like she was about to unsheath it. The same sword she refused to unsheath for the duration of our entire journey. Am I wrong about that? Just what in tarnation happened then? I ain't exactly nose deep in them fellers' business, but y'all gotta understand. Guess something sure as hell went down though, didn't it? Ah, now ain't that something? You really fixing to unsheath that blade? It's Ryoshu. In a quiet but stern voice, Faust calls Ryoshu's name. Ryoshu. Oh, excuse me, that must be my phone. Ah, dang it, what the gosh, my bad, y'all. I gotta take this, it's the underboss calling, you gotta understand. Alright then, I'll meet you later. We can talk about your daddies or shoot some other shit then. See you around, on Yoshihide. The man turns around and stomps his way through the crowd again, his booming voice reverberating across the entire hall as he loudly and boisterously answers it. It's gotta be here for the family hierarch war, right? The outcome of the family hierarch evaluation determines the immediately foreseeable future of H-Corp, which brings parties of varying, possibly clashing interests here. Hey, Heathcliff, I noticed you didn't rush ahead this time. I was worried it's gonna be like that one time with the middle.
엄지는 나도 조직 생활 때 몇 번 얽혀봐서 알아.
Yeah, I know a thing or two about the thumb back from my syndicate days, and about what happened in the middle. Like I said, I had no bloody idea who those things belonged to. Besides, that salt is more powerful and violent than Ricardo, the individual we encountered in the past. Oh boy, are we gonna be pissing off every one of the 5 finger syndicates by the end of this story? Because I get the sense we probably will. And man, how's that even gonna play out? Are they gonna kill each other for the right to kill us? Maybe that actually might be good to our favor. Piss off so many people that all that's left is going to be a bunch of survivors we can easily finish off. I doubt it's that easy. There's no doubt question they all have some pretty good stuff behind them. Let's see here. They've mentioned... yeah, they've mentioned we've met the ring, the thumb, and the middle. We haven't heard much of the index, but I do know they exist. I've not played the games that they're from, but I am familiar with them a little. But I don't believe they've been even brought up in this game yet. And the pinky, I know absolutely nothing about. I couldn't find anything on them either. The wiki's just a blank page. It's probably because they haven't shown up in Limbus yet, but I'll worry about that later. We'll have to. That's one of those bridges we'll have to worry about when we call. That's what we'll have to worry about when we cross it. A bridge we'll worry about when we cross it. That's what I'm getting at. The thumb commands its own manner of terror and violence, unlike that of the middle. As we were sharing our impressions of Li Hang, I found Ryoshu frozen in place in the same position she had when Li Hang would walk past her, spacing out. All the way to the pinky, huh? She muttered something to herself. Huh, so I guess they're mentioned, but they're not. I haven't seen anything about them. We might get more of them on the next chapter then, though, given Ryoshi seems to have a connection to the fingers. Although the question I have is the dude referring to her quote-unquote baby as in her boyfriend slash husband, her partner, or her actual child? Either of them would make sense. The sinners are all very much fully grown adults. They could easily have families if they had wanted to. Although I can't imagine most of them being the type. 32nd candidate, Q. Called upon the next candidate. At the mere mention, the chaos that swallowed the hall hushed to silence. Q walked up the platform, unaccompanied by his own faction, but not alone. Who are those people next? I've never met them before. Oh, that must mean their big brother Q's answers immortality. Who could they possibly be? Neither of them appear to be particularly skilled in combat, yet they're both constantly looking around, like they're nervous in some way. They are... Faust believes they're survivors of the library. The Library of Ruina? Survivors. The only ones who survive the impossible, inevitable odds of the insurmountable force. They're the only survivors who may be able to explain that very force. Maybe. Candidate Quay didn't spend much time behind the curtains. He walked out, steely expression unchanged. The testimony rings true. They are both survivors of a place that soared beyond a star of the city before it vanished. It's a shame we were unable to procure ourselves an invitation then. He passes. His expression did not budge. Anxiety's got to be a foreign concept to that guy. Then that covers all the candidates, it would seem. With the first round complete, all families are... Excuse me. Unlike Q, who plunged all into stillness, Hong Lu's interjection roused the room into chaos again. Oh, what? I think you might have missed a candidate. What do you mean? I believe we've covered every candidate on the list. I'm afraid you've missed me. Of the family will participate in the evaluations.
도박장죄로 의뢰를 냈다 싶더니 이렇게나
Declaration of
밑장빼는 놈들이
participation.
한가해지리라. 한 달은 의뢰 없이 놀아도 되겠는데요? 하고
Isn't that
가고
what are you doing here? What did you just say?
예상은 하고 있었지만
I had a feeling this is gonna happen,
엄청나게 시선을
but we really
끌고
kicked the
있네요.
hornet's nest. Hark one all, gaze upon our glory. In our 11th hour, doth the final band of heroes arrive. Sang, don't pretend you're not with us, huh? At least give us the audience a wave. Guys, I don't think they're taking the announcement too well. A large portion of the audience is vicariously expressing their collective confusion, wrath, and concern. These emotions expressed by their jaws have opened past a certain degree. Merceau observed, I realized the chaos wasn't restricted to the audience. The candidates were getting agitated as well.
저런 놈이지.
And there he is, the disgusting, deliberate bastard who brings annihilation to everyone around him with that silly, innocent smile. To be fair, our own annihilation, stupidity, and death is caused by a lot more than just Hong Lu.
어떻게 된 거야?
What's going on? I thought Bai wasn't participating. That dumbass. Sing. Explain yourself now. Miss Saw told me to grab your sword like my life depended on it if you said that exact phrase.
아이씨.
Blimey, we can't just... You mentioned you too, Heathcliff. If you say anything like, can't we just give him good being been done with it, I should? What a throwback. Decorum, I demand decorum. I hope you do not mean to risk having your body marred. Withdraw your name, it isn't too late now.
가볼게요.
I'm heading in, father. 33rd candidate, bio of the Jia family. Come forth.
단테님,
Ready, Dante?
준비되셨죠?
I don't know.
그리고
And what about you, Ryoshu?
뭐든지
I'm itching
썰고
to
싶
get chopping.
기분이 굉장히
Need to vent this shitty feeling. Are you sure they're gonna be okay,
괜찮은
Faust?
것이 아니라
This is something
하더라도
that must be done regardless of the
해야 하는
soundness of its
것은
participants.
해야 하는 것.
Faust spoke sternly. I still quite detest this plan. Let's be honest for a second. Are any of us actually happy to go through with this? Yeah, I'm pretty it goes without saying, but I'm pretty sure the goal is to kill Hong Lu and then instantly resurrect him. That's pretty much guarantees proof that, yeah, he's found something similar to what they're after. I guess he's the one. Hong Lu, Ryoshu, and I walked up the platform. Up close, it was much larger, grander, and imposing than I thought it'd be. Enter the fabric threshold. Once we were past, we saw Yoshon, Mu, and Zhang waiting for us inside. I know not what in your life beyond the hedges could have wrought this change of heart, but to see you to aspire to the seat is a sign most curious. It's been a while, big sister. Has life in Key Corp been treating you well? I have seen and learned much, as you must have, Bayo. Now I see your true reason for returning home today. Sorry, grandmother, I thought it better than to let this be common knowledge. Oh, you did. Now that you've revealed your intent, withdrawal is no longer an option. Very well, present the answer you brought here today. I'm sure you've already sat through many people in the same place I'm now, explaining what it is they brought. So I suppose you much prefer I give you a straightforward visual demonstration than make you sit through another 1,000-word lecture. Hong Lu gave Ryoshu a nod. Yes, I'm okay. Our answer that we may be demonstrate before them is the resurrection from Dante's power to show them that to us, death is but a temporary setback. And the most dramatic demonstration of that ability would be to... As expected. Indeed, you've certainly demonstrated something. You were at least dreary part of the day, Bayo. I see, so the most effective way to do it is for me to get killed in front of them, without any room for ambiguity at that. Yes. Then, does that mean one of us has to make sure Hong Lu no longer lives? Oh, I don't need to beat around the bush. Remember what we did to each other when we first met? Yeah, I've still not forgotten you killed Sinclair, who wasn't even being remotely annoying or snide to you, buddy. And Heathcliff is the implication there. Oh yeah, don't worry, I've forgiven him for it, but I'm not forgotten it. Especially since Sinclair's doesn't seem to be holding a grudge, and at the end of the day, it's probably Sinclair's choice more than anyone else, whether or not that should be held against him. Still willing to murder him without hesitation? But, mate, you have to put it like that? Verily, I do not wish to hurt my good companions, any more than I already have. Maybe a stretch to say it's fortunate, however. We seem to have an individual among us who may be able to carry it out in a painless, swift, and unburdened manner. And everyone immediately turned to look at... Oh, so how would you like to be cut? Where's that fucker? Who's he working with? It seemed that slicing Hong Lu in half did nothing to distract her from her own thoughts. You watched in silence, Moshe. You've split his brain in half. You've irreversibly ended this child's life. Not even life insurance shall be able to bring him back now. Well then, what will you do now? You have no means to restore this to Jade. For your transgressions, you will... Clock, spin it. And so it turned. In one of the most high-intensity situations, I've turned it. Muscle fibers, nerves, flesh that was split, all recollected like a rewinding videotape. Huh, why doesn't this hurt at all? Wow. Ryoshu's skill with a sword is absolutely no joke. I didn't even feel the slightest bit of discomfort. I doubt Honglu even realized he was dying. Wow. I truly realized it's been a while since we've met. He's grown quite bold. I smell beasts. The dark shadows surrounding us before I even realized what was happening. Bull, rooster, dragon, monkey. The Heishos are here. The task was to find an answer to the freedom of mages and death. Not break a taboo and participate in destruction of our home. It's not been long since the family led H-Corp was brought to ruin. No arbiter nor claw to ravage a family again. He appeared ready to command the Heishu to kill us, and yet... Who silenced her with a wave of her hand? You will wait. Verbal move. Once the resurrection is complete, the head will... We must end this. Hold for 15 minutes, but at least to be rash in judgment. And to judge incompletely. I will not wish to lose either our treasure nor a clue to immortality. Honglu was whole again. Thank you, Ryoshu. It really didn't hurt at all. And you too, Dante. No problem. Grandmother, big sister Yashan, did you see that? This is the immortality that I've found. Are we safe? If ought to be owed, a swift vengeance shall arrive in time. It is yet simply to return. Her quiet utterance was to dissipate the forces that surrounded us to the outside the curtain. The first round, you pass. Wow, of the Jia family passes. What trickery is this? I thought he was off on some sightseeing tour, like a jobless rich kid. When he be able to find his own answer? Thus ends the first round. Those who pass must prepare for the second, as commence tomorrow. Remember, the candidates are barred from harming one another between now and the commencement of the second round. This is your one and only rule, and remember it well. Anyone who dares break it will be immediately disqualified. That is all. I'm willing to bet there's a technicality in there that they can do it as long as they're not caught. As soon as Zheng announced the first round, everyone in the audience began rushing towards the first floor. Getting mixed up with that crowd's probably not a great idea. Let's get out of here. Indeed, let's immediately return to Honglu's room. And we slipped out of there before the crowd swept us away. However, as we turned to leave, he stood in our path. Oh, big brother, congrats on passing the first round. Here you passed as well, young master. Congratulations are in order, it seems. How is it that you, young master, who has not shown an inkling of ambition towards the seat of Hierarch, suddenly emerged as one of the candidates, positively stealing the show? Well, you know, some people get swept up by random surges of ambition. Wasn't that surge of ambition your company's and not young Master Bao's? Well, if our last meeting didn't confirm it, it seems they sure do know us well. Have we not impressed upon you that you were nicely to remain within the borders? Instead, he sparks such disorder at the fringes of his perimeter. I had thought that his only role in this design would be to be played as a pawn by Zishun and no more. Ah, so they expected us to join her. But the fact they know that, they must have a very dedicated information network. Because remember, the steps, we did this. So, first of all, even we didn't know the truth before it happened. And right before it happened, we made sure that the details were only given on the palanquin through stuff that wasn't even supposed to be there, and yet these people all still know it. They must have someone, maybe even multiple, on the inside, because I doubt they had one of the Heishos just running alongside the palanquin in that time, listening in. Someone would have noticed. My lord, perhaps you've overestimated this young master. Are you still the belief that inaction is a path without consequences? I didn't even get to say hello to you either, brother. Earlier, brother. Family formally extends his greetings to you. I realize this is the first time we're meeting face to face since I've reached adulthood. Speaking of which, did you manage to stitch Big Brother Yuan heads back to their bodies? Heathcliff was the first lad of flabbergasted gasp before the other sinners following suit. I guess that's how they greet each other, all. Seems Miss Baochai was just a particularly nice exception. You ask a question that deserves no answer. You arrived here, unprepared, yet ready to cast yourself in the flames, all for a mere reason that your quote-unquote turn has come. If your mind hasn't changed, then it would have been wise to remain unseen and unnoticed, as you were. Yes, thank you for your concern. This facade of wisdom and pensiveness worn up your speech is truly intractable.
제가
Did
그랬나요?
I do that? Noticing his hand tighten around his weapon, Ishmael jumped in. Oh, in case you forgot, there's a role-playing candidates who passed the first round of killing one another. Hopefully I'm not the only one who remembers that. We're going to bully us, don't be surprised if there are consequences.
오티스 씨,
Otis, you finished preparations, right? The reinforcements are standing by. Which is why I'm warning you, taking any rash actions could result in a pointless skirmish for both of us. A loud boast from an illusionary army in an empty fortress. Though I believe that sheer might is hardly the quality one should flaunt. I'm not intent on fighting you here. Bao, you will beget great suffering by endeavoring to embrace beyond your capabilities. Yet if he wishes to challenge and be broken, but perhaps the outcome is simply meant to be. With that, they turned around and left us. It seems as though they were only give us a warning. So yeah, it's not just the stuff here in this area. They know everything about the Bus Corp. I suppose on one hand, a lot of stuff wouldn't be too difficult to read up on us, but this could mean they might actually already know about the Golden Bow. They probably want... He did say the winner gets it first and foremost, which could be a problem if they want it, though. Then, again, knowing the Golden Bow exists and knowing what it's actually useful for are two completely different things. So, I mean, during Dawn's chapter, the Corp knew it existed, but didn't care one bit about it compared to La Mancha Land and its origins. What a relief, I thought we'd have to fight Q and his Heisho pack. Well, they did say we're towards the end, but hey, nice teamwork, Otis. What unbelievable impudence. Did you notice how they did not even glance at the rest of us throughout that exchange? Well, I mean, we're not the candidates, we're just helping out one candidate. Bai Chao peeked out from the pillar before walking up to Hong Lu. Past the first round, I'm so happy for you. What's going on here? I didn't even imagine in my wildest dreams to be participating in the family hierarchy war. Congratulations to you too, big sister Bao Chao. Passing on that first round. Gathering from the fact you hid it even from me, you really didn't want anyone to know, right? Yeah, I imagine it must have kicked up quite the ruckus with everyone. Now I'm starting to feel bad about this. Somehow we ended up lying to everyone. Hey, don't beat yourself up over it. Own it instead. If it's all the same to you, I want to say I'm happy you decided to take part. I was worried you'd already left, so far away from me again that by the time I was finished with the war, that would have been too bad. I'm glad we get to spend more time together, even if it's as contestants. Don't forget to say hello and give me a wave if we ever run into each other. She left us to rejoin her faction, waving sweetly. Shun.
돌아오셨습니까?
You have returned, young master. Yep, good evening, Zarin. She bowed wordlessly at the same... Oh. What is it pronounced?
좋은 밤이야, 스핀.
She bowed wordlessly in the same detached coldness we sensed earlier. She did not seem at all excited about her master's success today, nor did she appear to be concerned about him. The letter has arrived for you, young master. You didn't even try to hide the fact the envelope was tampered with, did you? My responsibility was to deliver the letter. To protect its integrity is not one of my obligations. Okay, so we have a literal, person here. Hong Lu, are you sure she's your maidservant? It's okay, she's not wrong.
수빈, 일로 와봐.
Sabine, can I ask you something? Jill wants to play a rock testing game with me, but I can't find him anywhere. That's, Wait, see, how many numbers have you learned so far, young master? We learned up to 10. Then he'll be back after 100 nights sleeps. 10 nights, 10 times, that's 100 nights. Oh, cool. Smart.
수빈은 엄청 똑똑하네.
Almost be another dead sibling, then. Ah, it's nothing. Something we all learned growing up. Slept 10 nights, but I still know where he's gone. Did I say that he was to return? Yeah, so he'll be back afterward. Oh. 2 nights is hardly enough. It'll take 1,000, given what they did to him. I see you're smart as always. Master, it's been years, but the body's still decaying. Lost control over half of his body. Even after he was fed the boluses I'd sent him. I was told that that your boluses were useless, young master. The decay has reached his brain, and I overheard other servants gossip it's impossible to recover from that kind of a wound. The body is functionally dead. Death would be preferable, in fact. So give up your naive hope and forget him. You're always so smart, Zero. I will now read the letter, Executive Manager. Oh, right. As I stood there pondering, Otis walked to the front. This is from Master Sod. Hello, everyone. I heard the manager passed the first... Heard from the manager, everyone managed to pass... I heard you managed to pass the first round. I wrote this letter before I heard the news. You wouldn't even be reading this if you hadn't passed. What the heck? Let's leave the celebratories for later. The real game starts in round 2. The other candidates must have been making alliances, strategies, and sharing information for the next round. Meanwhile, you guys stumble around aimless and alone before returning to your lodging, and here you are, reading my letter. Oh, is she watching us from somewhere? Sheesh, it's like the tape knew you would say that while playing a pre-recorded tape that even knew when people would interject. Not to worry, for your team specifically, round 2 doesn't require much strategizing because it's messy and continuous battle after battle. So battle on, as you always do. Oh? It's what you do best, right? Hold on. I would go into more detail in this letter, but I'm sure the letter will be most likely been intercepted by one of the other candidates' clans or coalitions, so in order for you to obtain your objective, you have to rely on what you've learned and gained, your intuition and fearlessness. Like I said, we have but one purpose. Contextual clues suggest that one purpose is to come in second place and obtain the golden bow. Well, that wraps everything up. One last thing. Shameless curs who have rested their eyes upon contents of this letter, without authorization, shall be struck down with a curse of misfortune, lest generations ne'er shall they be able to successful in any endeavor regardless of nature. Bottom part's been torn off, huh? What a way to end a letter. I see, so whoever stole and intercepted it must have seen that and got freaked out. So does anyone know what to expect in round 2? The letter didn't exactly help with anything at all. It would be better to learn the exact rules on site and hear from the organizers themselves. It's likely there are forces who already have their eyes and ears upon us. Executive Manager and someone by the door. Right on cue, I don't think that's what this is. Grab your weapons, prepare for battle. Despite our rush, the person at the door was none other than Zishun. She wore an expression that we'd grown quite familiar with now, an interesting combination of annoyance and disappointment. Oh, why do I ever expect anything better from you anymore? You're just opening your front door to anyone without checking who knocked, just like that? Oh, I thought you were done talking. We can be pretty heedless from time to time. But I don't think anyone who's intending to kill us would have the decency to stand and hesitate in front of my door, wondering if she should knock or not. Earlier in round 1, you said you had yourself killed in front of Mu and Yeonshun, didn't you? And revived yourself in front of them, I'd presume. Yeah. Why even go that far, huh? What's gotten into you? Family heart? Why now all of a sudden? I can tell just the look in your face. You couldn't care less about becoming the family hierarch. Is that really it? He told you to do it? They told you to, is that really it? They just told you to do it? Imagine just for the sake of it. What if, like, our actual goal wasn't to come in first place? You seriously expect me to believe that? Right, totally, I wouldn't buy that either. Anyways, I'm not here to ally or parlay with you. I'm never doing anything like that with you again, brother. I'll be the nightmare soon, you know. Your room's always been so dark because you barely let as much as a ray of moonlight in. Even she's warning us we'll be visited by uninvited guests soon. Yeah, no way they're letting you, a sudden, unforeseen variable, spend the night in peace. But didn't they warn us that 2 candidates prohibited from hurting? I see. The only thing that matters is the exact wording of the law, not the spirit. Right, they won't intervene as long as the candidate's not trying to kill it, literally, with their own hands. They don't trust anyone, even your maidservants. Thanks for coming here in person, Zishin. Okay, I think that was actually a bigger clue than we realize. If I'm reading what she's saying... Yeah, if I'm picking up what she's putting down, as it were... Or the maidservant's gonna betray us like the maid at Wuthering Heights, the butler at Wuthering Heights. Tomorrow, we'll be really enemies. I know it's too late to change anything, but she stumbled over words, trailed off, and turned and left as though she had swallowed what she wanted to say. She expressed the wish to visit you herself. I made 3 attempts to talk her out of it. It was highly impertinent of someone of my station to advise her 3 times, yes, but I implore you all to know that her choice was not an easy one. Oh, I know this question can sound a bit nosy, but are things okay over there? We will face the trial to the best of our abilities. I wish with all my heart that our paths will not cross tomorrow. And I share his sentiment. I wish not to bring harm to him, nor them to us in return. Well, when's anything ever gone as we wished, huh? But Heathcliff sounded just as uneasy. Yeah, even poor Don's father struggled to actually achieve his dream because despite wanting the coexistence of the vampire blood fiends and the humans, ultimately we did in fact have to kill all the blood fiends. The only reason Dawn's fine is because her shoes are temporarily making her human for a time. Yeah, it says a lot that even Heathcliff is bothered by this. Alright, got it. We now know not to trust even our most trusted maidservant. Intruders. Maidservant let them in, I'd wager.
자, 판 돌아갑니다.
Pretty sure a level 45 to 50 team is more than enough for this. O moon, once it waxes it wanes. O water, once it fills it overflows. For all the lights must go out and the night is still. It's time. Sharpen your senses. Hey, what are some infiltration routes in this building that our enemies could use?
일단 상대 쪽에서
Anywhere really, as long as the
암습을
assassin's
하겠다고
willing to put their
마음을
mind to it.
먹으면 한 번은
There was one
침대
time one of them
밑에서부터
suddenly
나오신
appeared out from
적도
under my bed.
있었으니까요.
That sounds kinda terrifying. Yoshu, who is leisurely puffing her cigarette as the sinners look around, suddenly pointed up. Ceiling. Someone just landed above us. Ah, so if they're hiding the ceiling, there must be one waiting for us just out the door. He spoke as casually as though he was expecting to have them join us for tea or something. Impressive and pretty sharp. The sinners whipped around and swung their weapons, but the assassin dodged and chugged a gourd in his hand. What? This smells like Sod's drinking on the job. Are you jealous he's not sharing, Heathcliff? Give me a break, I'm an old guy on a night shift. I deserve a drink. Our target's the young master. Let's come quick and call it a night. With that, they began flooding into the room. Luckily, Hong Lu is already more than familiar with this, and I've got a good ID for him to ensure.
일기당천.
Oh wow, they're really rolling high. Oh wow, we are losing every roll, aren't we? No, we got a couple that are doing well. Struggling. We're fine if we win and he loses, but that's a big if. Might be worth a try at the very least, though. I don't mind if that guy counters. Dawn can eat it. Yeah, see? Oh, phew. Mersoi's winning the roll. Wonderful. Get him. Give him the bonk. Alright, Bonky's delivered. Time for the gamble. Oh well. We're struggling. We're gonna use. It's good to use an ego, I'd say.
그쪽 방향이 아닐 텐데.
Daggered.
물론고. 꺾고 제쳐라.
The Odyssey had a purpose. I suppose so. The Odyssey has taught us that witches can turn people into pigs for you.
장군님, 봤어요? 너무 쉽군요.
Always a useful service to have.
운이 따라준다면 좋겠네요.
Say, I appreciate that the 2 stars of this game are actually surprisingly competent when you know how to use them. Not all are made equal, granted. I imagine that's probably for a number of reasons, but I've been liking Roseband and Rousseau helping my Tremor team get going. I just need to make sure to get him that healing ego, and he'll be a top-notch support for them. Furtive Podao, assailant. Swift. Yeah, as I figured, it's fine as long as you aren't caught, or as long as you aren't pulling technicalities. Bit of a rough start, but it all came together in the end. Should be good.
자, 어느 쪽일지 잘 생각해보라고. 놓고 열어젖히고.
You know, thinking about it, I could probably make some sort of joke about Rose Banner Merceau being Amy Rose Merceau, given he hits them with a big ass hammer. But I don't know how to make it funny, unfortunately.
깔끔하게 물었군.
위험해. 대상 사망. 징수 진행 불가. 벌써 버벅이나? 가속.
Nice.
완전히 멈췄네. 체납한 시간은 전부 징수했어. 3. 엠파!
Man, whoever hired you guys really didn't break out the big bucks, did they?
도박장죄로 의뢰를 냈다 싶더니 이렇게나 밑장 빼는 놈들이 한가득일 줄이야.
Night ambush.
아,
Purely a
한
fight,
달은
huh?
의뢰 없이 놀아도 되겠는데요? 사무소 놓았네.
하나씩 차근차근 그어서 대갚아보죠.
Large. So,
당신 짝패군요.
nice, we got us. Oh dear. That's it? Just guard? Oh dear. I think keeping that team's A-res might be in my interests here. So that might not work. I'm gonna use a target as a bleed flash power.
그렇게 하죠.
Oh, phew, Ishmael won that. Good. I'm gonna say Ishmael really looks good in that ponytail. Unfortunately, I expected that. Gonna be a little tricky, but I think we can get it. As long as... Oh, dang!
봤어요?
Even when he failed the coin modifier. Yeah, that plus 25 coin modifier is absolutely hilarious. Well, I'm already playing a gambling game. Might as well keep up the gambling. There's a reason whenever a game brings up, oh, I lost my money gambling, or no, I lost everything gambling, I go, ah, gotcha games.
자, 어느 쪽일지 잘 생각해보라고.
Maybe Sung's not doing great, but he's reasonably durable and has shields. He can handle this. Excellent. Merceau might be the one I need to help more.
재밌네요.
최대전. 집행한다.
Wonderful. Alright, there's 12. Huh? 2 defeated out of 12, huh? Gaiety.
그렇게 하죠.
우리
물 넘고 꺾고 제차.
I can tell even these unfocused battles are not holding back. There we go. He had the stagger point.
깔끔하게 물었군.
What is the stag? Gotta be careful, I suppose. There we are.
운이 따라준다면
We're
좋겠네요.
struggling a bit. We need to break out the ego.
수많은 것들이 옥죄어 온다.
Say the Chains of Others debuff is really nice.
바람 불어오는 대로 짓밟아라.
그쪽 방향이 아닐 텐데.
나태님 봤어요? 재밌네요.
Oh, nice.
敵は深手を負っています。
당신 짝패군요.
Looks like the enemy's almost done. Let's clean up and take it all home.
물 넘고 무수히 넘고 얼마든지 꺾고 제차라.
Go for Dawn. And she can take it. She's got a very generous stagger threshold.
난 예상 못했나 봐.
완전히 멈췄다. 생각한 시간은 전부 징수했으니 상관없지.
Seems you guys gotta try harder. Though I'm well aware this is not these. I'm still the big fight of the chapters.
구걱정죄로 의뢰를 냈다
Might not reach it
싶더니
tonight, but we're definitely.
이렇게나 밑장 빼는
up.
놈들이 한가득일 줄이야.
Ah, the boss is here.
한 달은 의뢰 없이 놀아도 되겠는데요? 사무소 놓았네.
Just barely not enough. I'm not sure if I want to use a. Then again, maybe this will be a nice cliffhanger to leave it off on. I usually go. Next time I'll be able to go pretty late, so I should be able to get a reasonable amount of this area done. So that'll be interesting. Yeah, I think this might be a good cliffhanger to leave it on. Sorry to have to end a bit earlier than I normally would, but I have a lot to do in the morning, so... Usually out here. Like... Looks like we've got someone who's still doing Canto was 7 for Limbus Company, so I'll go ahead and raid them. Alright, if you want to stick around for some Canto 7, by all means. Otherwise, until next time, thank you all for watching. Hope you had a good time. I'll see you a little later. Yeah, until next time, thank you for watching. Have a good time. I'll see you later.